Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Initiative Order. Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is for you right now. It is currently a blisteringly hot UK evening here, and if at any point the stream stops, it will have been because I have contracted heat stroke and died in my office. A lovely, lovely way for my fiance to come upstairs. So, welcome on that note to Chalice, Twilight Roads, and before we jump in to meet our players, our past players, and everyone in between, we're just going to give a good shout out once more to our sponsors and belittle Jago more and more, because sadly, despite my brutal comments last week, Jago, can you hold up any new dice you may have?
I can't hold up new dice, but I could hold up a receipt.
A receipt, you do.
You had to
Don't do
job,
that,
man.
So yeah, I was going to say, I wasn't planning on it,
Yeah.
but I could.
Well, in that case, I think I will ask Jago, who did you buy your wonderful new dice from?
Oh,
Do not say one of the sponsors. I ask every person in this call to come and
throw things at you.
Yeah.
they were from the lovely folks at Dwarven Foundry.
Dwarven Foundry?
Did I say them wrong?
North Foundry, sir. North Foundry.
That's the
I am
buggers.
so sorry, please.
I am so sorry. Please send me my dice. I would understand if I got your order has been. Yeah, no, that's.
That was kind of his dice.
After that comment, keep his money and his dice. Well, as Jago has started, Norse Foundry are some wonderful artisan dice makers. I'm hoping that Jago did use the wonderful special offer code they have passed us of TIO15 at the checkout for wonderful 15% off. Brilliant. Of course, as always, if you need more dice, and people mostly do, Jago just disappoints. You can also
I'll get around to everyone eventually.
Yeah. You can also head over to Umbral Oculus Dice, where you'll be able to pick up some dice made by the Initiative Order's very own Terran. You can use the code INITIATIVE for 10% off a full set of dice in her store. And of course, if you're looking for something you can put your own kind of personal spin on with your dice, you can head over to Mithril Armory, pick up some sketch dice, maybe even some tin D20s. You've got a lot more kind of customizability there. Lovely, lovely thing. Paint them however you want, color them in however you want. I personally intend at some point when I have money again to just go completely black and draw ones across every face.
Can you just repeat that word again, please? I don't know what that word was.
I don't know which word you mean. That was a long string of words.
I think it was money.
Word.
Yeah.
What is this having money? Tell me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only ever heard
if you have some money, you can also use the code INITIATIVE. Their web store for 10% off. And of course, with Umbral Ocular Dice, same thing. Initiative will net you 10% off, as I've said. And of course, finally, if you want some lovely new clothes, because I know I've been wearing the same shirt for the last 10 years, I do occasionally wash it in between. And see. And should I want more clothes, I can head on over to Session Zero Clothing and pick up some wonderful D&D inspired streetwear and use the code ORDER at checkout there for 15% off.
Ben, right. I've been telling you, I keep trying to buy you new clothes, but you just sort of scream at the door and chuck them on the ground in front of me. I mean, I'm trying.
Mainly because I'm trying to work out how you know where I live.
He keeps having to move. He's onto his fourth house.
That's the real problem with my bandwidth. I'm never here long enough to set it up.
I've got a huge algorithm set up guessing where he's going to move, and I'm just all I do in my spare time is stream and run around looking for where Ben's living.
So you're that random person I hear screaming in the night trying to find him. Oh, makes sense now.
You are the reason I drink.
Well, Ben, you're the reason the rest of us drink, so, you know.
I mean, I hope so. Quite literally my only job.
It's too hot tonight,
and
but yeah,
the
really.
cycle continues.
I almost fell off my chair.
And on the note of who people are and where they are and how Jago intends to find them all, let's go through and meet everyone tonight. We're going to start with the person we won't be meeting for long. Holly, please, who are you?
Hello. Yeah, so my name is Holly. I played the character. I know, right? Look at that. Yeah, I played the character Edlynnne. Obviously, after last week's session, she's no longer with us. I am only here tonight to annoy these guys because it's just really fun to annoy them. Also, I make the music, so I kind of like forced them to let me join. I was like, please, I'll give you more music. And they were like, fine. So that's really all the reason why I'm here. I make the music, and they just seem to somewhat tolerate it.
You have to be nice to me. I'm the only other girl here.
Yeah, to be fair, Lynn is my only friend in this group, so you know, I also can't leave her alone.
Thank you.
So, yes,
And as she's been name dropped, Lynn, who are you?
Hello, I'm Lynn. I'm also known as Pan or Pontouf or Pontoufles. I'll pop up in chat a bit throughout the evening. I play Cecily. She's an alchemist. She's a sort of kind of doctor person. My dog got killed last session while I wasn't here, which I am very upset about, and Cecily is even more upset about, so I'm sure that will be coming up.
In game.
Mm-hmm.
The dog was killed in game.
The dog was killed in game, yes.
No real life animals were harmed.
No real life animals were harmed. My actual dog had surgery today, but he's fine and he's recovering well, so yeah. Dog drama all round, IRL and in game.
I mean, not in game. Dog drama's still going down in game.
No, yeah.
And Billy, please.
Hello, I am Billy. I am playing Subil, a character who is not very good at fighting and only good at talking, and so has not been very helpful, nor will be very helpful, I'm sure, in the next few sessions. So that will be hopefully rather enjoyable.
I mean, you said it, not me.
For you, not for me. Or for him.
Or for anyone.
Wow.
I hope it's enjoyable for someone, otherwise I don't know why we're keeping Billy around.
I'm Holly. I haven't made any music, so I've got no
you got no buying power.
If Subil gets it, I'm out of here.
And what's the chances of that, right?
Bribe everybody with like coffee and stuff. That's what I do.
Coffee.
If you ever see Holly disappear from from her own camera and then reappear behind someone else, please call your local authorities. James.
I mean, someone had to say
next.
it.
If you turn up behind me, I'd be very surprised and wonder how you have created teleportation technology. I am James. I play Alister, who is just a run-of-the-mill great guy, just down the line, straight as an arrow, lovely bloke, doesn't cause any problems in the group. Yeah, he's nice, he's friendly, he likes the odd throat bite, but who doesn't, you know? That's Alister.
I'm not one to kink shame.
I don't think he meant it in that way, but I mean, sure.
Don't know, did you ask?
No.
To be fair, he didn't ask, and consent is a thing, people. So
yeah, no, he didn't ask.
Consent is very important.
Yeah.
Consent is important.
Danny, you're on stream.
Hi, Danny.
How you doing?
Danny.
Hi, Danny.
For anyone watching,
Danny's playing Subil tonight.
Yeah, so we're recasting
Subil's in charge of the tech.
Yeah.
I've been kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the eternal threat we can now use of anyone who
There he
is
is.
sick or anything else.
Oh.
Danny will take over.
Danny will just jump in.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I just briefly swapped places with Eddie. I think we're
I'm tech guy now, man.
Look at me.
I just blacked out for a second.
I'm the tech guy.
I'm the tech guy now.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
And
We are the best.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'll put
we all put faith in Danny. No one else.
Yeah.
Certainly not Ben.
No, God no. Why would anyone do that?
No, don't never do that.
Just don't look for Ben for mercy. He'll just push the bullet in further.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't look for Ben. It's not a good like.
Unless you're Jago trying to find out where he lives.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but Hi.
I mean, speaking of which,
the
how many
resident
restraining orders have you put against Jago then? Like how many restraining orders have you filed at
It's
this point?
getting to 30. I'm going for a record.
I have a file.
Yeah, that
There
makes
you
more
go.
sense. Yeah.
Anyway, hi, I'm Jago. I'm the resident dice goblin. I don't have a problem. That is all.
That's a phrase that's come up in front of many alcoholic anonymous meetings. And sadly, as always, I am Ben, guiding both myself and these retrobates through the world of Chalice. You're, as we demonstrated last week with a quick summary execution, I am the gourmand of everything gruesome.
Ooh, very nice. I'm liking it.
And on that, if we can roll on into an intro, please. And see you all shortly. If I say that, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed the introduction, enjoyed the music. It's not like the person who made it is here anymore.
We were quick to get rid of it.
Does this mean anybody could take credit for it now?
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Okay, cool. So thank you for listening to my music. I worked really hard on it.
Just the creative industry. It's all about letting someone else do the work and putting your name on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stamp that shit.
Whoever claims it first.
Ben,
The loudest.
if the customers find out that's what we do with RPGs, it's like if the men find out we can
terrible people.
shapeshift, yeah.
The church. Oh, we are terrible people.
Yes, you are. Well,
What is this you business? You're included in that as well.
I think Ben's responsible for us being terrible people.
No, that's probably true.
He made us this way.
I've only known someone for a number of months.
I am what you made me.
I used to be 20. Now I look like this.
I
I used to be 20 a couple of
9.
months ago, so this is what knowing Ben does to you. Yeah. I used to look like Brad Pitt. Now I look like this.
Go to the last
melted.
stream. I was 9.
Yeah.
Used to have a hairline, not a hair apex.
Yeah. I'm lucky to have a hair at this point.
Well, in the spirit of offering people void points, because, you know, I feel
Mine
I
need 'em.
should, who would like to take the recap from last week? Obviously, it can't be Lynn. Lynn wasn't here.
Oh, I'd be willing to give
Are
it.
you sure about that?
Yeah, be Lynn. Lynn watched
I
me.
mean, it could be Lynn.
Right,
Go for
okay.
it. Let's
right.
go
You
with
don't
Lynn.
want you don't want me to
void
do it
point.
because you'll get the edited highlights. So you know.
Okay, right. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to get my
I
notes
mean,
up.
you're already 5 seconds down.
Oh, okay, right, fine. Okay, thought number 1. Jago buys some dice. We're on a boat, and then we get shackled to each other, bags put over our heads. We get taken to another boat. On that boat, we then get put into tiny cells in the dark, and it's not very nice. And then people are individually taken off for interviews. Alister goes first, and then I think Jago has one, not necessarily in this order, but Alister has one and Jago has one. Eddie has one, and hers goes horribly wrong when she tries to resist the guards, and they shoot her in the head, and then she ends up dead on the floor. They drag her body in for all of us to look at her through our little prison slits. I also got to say my dog got shot, but not that I'm bitter. So she's lying on the floor, brains all blown out, silver blood everywhere. Sam manages to walk through the cell door where him and Jack are being held. He starts crying a lot. People turn up, they drag Sam away. Jules smashes up a bucket, tries to make a shiv. And then Kurt reappears to come to our rescue. He opens... I've only just seen you guys doing it. Yeah, he opens all of our cell doors individually, catching Jack, who is he's transformed, who was going to smash down the door, but then Kurt opened it for him. So Kurt and his companion, who's got a burnt face, are currently trying to help us get off the ship. They've knocked out a couple of guards. They've given us all a flintlock each, and I think that's roughly it.
That was pretty damn concise. Well done. Have a void point.
Yes, also Jago.
All that, and you weren't even here.
Yeah, boy.
I did buy dice.
Buy more.
All right.
Yeah.
There's 2 more still.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Apparently we do.
Or
That's the
throughout a
problem here.
stream.
Well, at that point then, as we come back to our heroes... Oh, I could have almost said that with a straight face.
We're not.
I just realised you were talking about us. I just assumed you would.
Yeah, it's
We had another group
campaign
in, like, in the wings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I thought someone's here to save us. I can't.
is there a campaign you run where we're the heroes?
I don't think I have run a campaign where I could argue that anyone in them were heroes in the last 5 years.
That's fair.
I can't decide if that's damning of me or the people I know.
I think it's both.
It's life or life imitates life.
Column A, column B, right? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Potato,
Yeah.
tomato.
Well, we
I
returned
just realised
finding
what
our
I said.
party. Yeah, it was a phrase. We returned to find the party just on the just outside the small cells in the bowels of a ship. Gathered together, still wearing the bare minimum of what they entered with, clothing, a single pistol, and the shackles still, whilst loosened and now able to move, still hanging from one side of the arm. At the moment you step within the corridor, you can hear the whirring of the engines of the vessel coming from just ahead of you, and the corridor breaks off in 2 directions, right and left. The light levels here aren't fantastic. There are small lanterns hanging just in irregular intervals throughout the ship, giving you a small amount of light as it just gently ebbs from side to side. Just on the edge of the small kind of corridor you're in, you can see a series of small, thin spikes of iron just emanating from the wall nearby. on the floor, just to the side of it, a pool of kind of latticed iron, and still there. And you can see marks where something's been dragged away and pulled off to the left. Kurt, at the head of your group, still dressed as an inquisitorial acolyte, keeps low and just kind of edges around the corridor, looking off to the right in a stairwell that you know yourselves to have been led down at one point or another, especially as he kind of points it out. He nods over to you and just very quietly utters, "We got to get up front. We've taken some of the lanterns out. If we move quickly, we may be able to move without notice. If you're ready,
away off the ship.
We've got us both waiting."
I'm leaving without Sam. You can go ahead, but
Look, if you know where he is,
don't know shit.
The place is crawling, absolutely fucking crawling. Every moment we waste is a moment we risk being captured. Frankly, was a bit dumb for me to come in the first place.
Yeah, why are you here?
Well, he just points down the line, gesturing down towards Cecily. You know, she let down a friend of mine.
What?
He was waiting on the docks for hours, I'm telling you.
Certain things happened, and I had to intervene with those, and I didn't mean to stand him up. Like, I'm still wearing the dress that Jules put me in for it. Like, I had every intention of going. It's just that flipping Alister here turned up with his face all smashed in. I had to deal with that. I didn't think...
I feel like we got bigger things to worry about.
Bigger fish to fry.
There's a hissed comment from the back of your line where the woman with the kind of quite bad burns across her face just goes, "Maybe there's a better time for this talk."
I agree with her.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
She kind of, as you glance at her, Sybil, she just gives you kind of a low, recognizing nod.
Give a thumbs up.
Can I make some kind of check to, like, clues on the ground where I was brought through for my interview to make an educated guess where Sam might have been taken?
I'm going to need, if you want to try, it will be an insight, either engineering or survival, whichever is higher for you.
That'd be survival.
Cool. It's going to be frankly, you don't know the layout. You've been through a very small section of it. It is going to be a difficulty 4 check to try and deduce any form of assumption on where they may be keeping Sam.
Well, we don't. Has he got one momentum? Please, by all means, assist.
Yeah, help investigate.
I mean, investigating. Could we just ask Kurt?
He doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
He might know. He might have an idea or an inkling.
Okay, yeah.
He did say the place would be
Inquisitorial
absolutely crawling, so maybe.
Yeah, he implied that he didn't have any knowledge
he doesn't. Kurt, you got a map on you.
No, I didn't think to stop and ask for directions.
That's fair.
Look, all I know is he kind of glances around the boat, just kind of on the corridor you're in. Chances are it's an old vessel from the Unification War. If this is a prison ship, they will have kept all the belongings on the opposite end. You can guess maybe there.
How many guards do you think roughly are on the boat?
He kind of glances down the line. The woman at the back says 20, maybe more. Not including the Inquisitors themselves.
That's no.
Kurt just shrugs. Make a decision. If you want to go for the kid, I'll go for the kid. But right now, we need a choice. Where are we going?
That's 2 successes, Billy. If you can get a crit on that one, then we fucking got it. But it is achievable.
Only 1 success.
Ah,
You have no clue.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
You can only go by the information you've just been given, really.
all right, well, let's...
Wouldn't it be more prudent, perhaps, for us to get off the boat and then we can tail this one from a distance and try and take Sam on land when they're moving him?
If they move him and don't just
Well, they've got to get
do
him
him
off.
what they did
They'll
to
have...
Healey.
No. They need
I
him.
think they want him.
Can I ask one person just to roll a d20 for me, please? Just one person, and
No.
just read the result.
Go for it.
That is an 8.
You hear just beyond the corridor from you the echo of a door opening and closing, and then footsteps.
Either side of the door.
Distant. Sorry, pardon?
Either side of the door. They sound distant going away from us or coming towards us.
Make an insight observation check of 1 for you, Alister.
Can I also check to sound? Is it just one set of footsteps, or is it more? Do I need to roll check for that?
We'll see how Alistair's done first.
Okay.
2 successes.
Yeah.
Generate momentum, and I'll give you a little bit more information with that extra. The footsteps seem to be moving away from you, down a corridor, kind of emanating down from the left-hand side. You make out maybe 2-3 sets of footsteps.
There's 3 of them up over from the left, going down away from us. If we're going to move, it sounds like we should move now.
All right, well, fine.
Head towards the
Let's
boats.
go.
If we pick up any more information on Sam, we can make a decision then. But
Okay,
let's head in the
let's-
direction.
For now, let's go with Lynn's.
I don't want to leave
For
him either,
Cecily's
but
plan.
I think if we can make sure that we're safe and not endanger ourselves any more than
Okay.
we need to,
Correct.
then we
Okay.
can form a
Safe
plan.
around us.
Yeah, we'll go with We'll go with your plan then. Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Which case, we are going to enter, to go into a little bit of meta, we're going to get you to start an extended task as you make your way through the ship. This will be an agility, or correction, coordination stealth check with difficulty of 4. One person is to be leading the test, and anyone who has stealth as a skill can assist. You may let Kurt or the lady with the burnt face lead the test if you don't wish to. However, obviously they will not be able to spend any momentum.
I have.
And mine's not great.
Did you say agility stealth?
Coordination stealth, as you're
Okay.
moving quite a large number of you.
My coordination's good, but my stealth is only 1.
I have 9 coordination, 5 stealth.
11 coordination, 1 stealth.
8
See?
coordination, 2 stealth.
Billy, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
How are we feeling about momentum then?
We've got 2, so you can at least get 1 if you want it.
Can we assist with this, Ben? If we're
If you have access to the stealth skill, you can
Yeah.
100% assist.
Yeah.
So you are looking to beat a difficulty of 4.
I'd say take it, Billy. Take the momentum.
Yeah. Who's got stealth? Anyone fancy? helping me out?
I only have 1 in stealth, so that's probably not
I
the
got
best if I
2
roll
in
on
stealth.
that because it will be a fail.
Fair.
Go for it.
what's the
Right.
target number? Oh, I don't know why I'm asking. It's what we had. Sorry, I've been playing other games all day. I've been playing other games all day. The system has gone out of my head.
You're taking the. Are you taking the momentum, Billy?
Yes, I am.
Cool. Mark that off.
Rolling first 2 now.
Go on.
That is 2 successes.
We've got 1 success.
And
Where are you rolling your
that's a
dice?
success. On my table, it's way over in the distance.
I also got a success.
That's 5 by my count.
Mm-hmm.
3 from me. So yes.
And 1 each from
Let's
us.
go.
Yep.
Yes.
So that's one momentum
Brilliant. You generate
generated again.
momentum. Okay, Billy, can I ask you to roll a number of damage dice, please, equal to 3 plus your coordination modifier?
What are we damaging to get off the boat?
Pardon?
I was wondering what we're damaging to get off a boat, or have I missed
We're
it?
punching it really sneaky.
How an extended, so for our viewers at home, how, and unfortunately you guys, how an extended task works is essentially, imagine that there is a health bar, and that health bar is X amount of stress with X amount of injuries. What you guys are doing essentially by beating the test is dealing damage to that, which is representing your movement through the ship without being noticed. When you have dealt enough injuries, you will have successfully made your way off the ship. Of course, complications and failing tests will have immediate problems. But, we'll get to that when we get to that.
No, that's cool. Thank you for educating me. I am. For the viewers at home, I'm still quite new to this. Thanks, Jago.
Just
It's
to
okay. They're all stuck somewhere, and I always laugh at them.
we always laugh at each other.
Go for it, Billy. What were you going to say?
Just to clarify, when you said using my coordination modifier, do you mean using my skill of 9 or using the +1 next to it?
The +1.
+1, so it'd be 3 + 1. Does that?
Right. 4 dice in
I'm
total.
rolling 4 dice total. Okay, cool. Lovely. All right. I roll them 2 at a time because it helps me. That's a 2 and a 2, like 2 hits. If that makes sense. These
Yep.
ones. I still
So
don't know how to
damage.
describe them. And rolling the next 2, which is 1 and a 1.
So 6 in total. Wonderful.
Lovely. Okay. US.
Could I, as we're doing this, keep my ears out for any voices that may or may not mention a location of a small child that probably is the one that is part of our group?
You definitively can. If I can just get you to... So just tell me your combined insight observation score, please.
My combined
As in-
insight observation score. Insight observation, that is an 11.
Okay, cool. You keep an ear out. As you start making your way through the vessel, assuming you're going for the most direct line out, Sybil, you move your way to the head of the pack, keeping alongside Kurt as the two of you start quietly making your way around the internal of the ship. Twisting right around the corner, you come to a stairwell that leads directly up. Kind of hitting the top of the stairs, you realize that it leads into a whole separate level of the ship. You can still feel it kind of rocking from side to side. You follow that to a long corridor that continues down the center of it, breaking off maybe 10, 15 feet down into another set of doors, as well as behind you a set of stairs leading straight back down. You hold there for a moment, and Kurt kind of slowly leads you up the corridor. At one point, you hear movement. Stop and pull back for a second as one of the doors in the corridor, there being free running on either side, slides open, and you see a man kind of step out, twist around the corner, and head up the corridor away from you to the door on the far end. Unclasping that as it's kind of locked in by a bulkhead, spinning the wheel free, sliding through and just closing it behind him. As he pulls on an inquisitorial shawl, you can see a rifle already held in hand. You at this point have, as a group, just kind of ducked back behind the corner on the stairwell you've just come up by and just hold there for a moment, getting ready to move again. You don't see anyone else, although you do hear a lot of movement, and of course the majority of it coming from the engine room you've left behind you. You have to still continue. Is there anything anyone else would like to do before you try again to sneak forward?
Just quickly, like with Sam, like he ported through that door away from Jack to reach Eddie. Is there anything to say that he might do that again and just be running free on the ship regardless of where these guys have taken him?
There's no real way of you knowing, is the easy answer to that. You would make the assumption that there would probably be a lot more commotion on the ship if a rogue channeler was sprinting around.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else? For anyone else? Anything else? No, I can just see the migraine claiming Billy.
Building slowly. It's about at the top of my nose at the moment. It's filling up my brain.
In which case, if you'd like to make another coordination stealth check, please, as a part.
Are we using momentum again? Assuming as we've
got it.
You know,
Yeah.
that's that last time. Might as well.
Rating exactly the same way as last time.
Yeah. Fucking spend it.
Okay, that's 2. No crits, but 2. And that's 3 successes from me.
Nice. I got
Nice.
So it's 2 successes from me.
Wonderful.
Nothing from me.
2 successes. I decided to roll this time to tempt fate.
Woo!
And I won.
There you are. So that's 3, 5, 7, and you add 2 more from both Kurt and the lady.
We are so sneaky.
Sweet.
So for
That
a
is up to
go for it.
4 momentum now? Did I? Am I 4 momentum, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Money
Good.
banks.
If you would like to roll your dice there, to see how you do on the track.
It's, that is 1 blank and 1 crit.
Yep.
And that is 1 crit and 1.
Okay. You start sliding forwards down the corridor and making your way closer and closer to the door on the far end. As you kind of reach it, or come to the edge of it, you become very aware of kind of muffled noise coming from the other side. And we're back, like magic.
Hey.
There are no more connection issues, we hope, apart from the ones I deal with on a daily basis with other human beings. Right. As we were, Subil.
Mm-hmm.
You are just about to open up a door heading into the engine room, trying to do so as stealthy as physically possible. So please make me a agility stealth check of difficulty 1, please.
There's 2 momentum.
I've got to be 12. What do we think?
I mean, it's a over 50% chance.
This is what I mean.
Per dice.
Famous last words, right? Let's go for it.
Go it. Grab it.
Is it?
I got a 10 and a 12.
Hey,
Oh.
that's a momentum. You
like
turn the wheel on the door as slowly as possible and just spring it open as quietly as you can. It does creak open with, unfortunately, quite a distinctive clunk as it unlocks. But the sound seems to just be lost immediately as you kind of open it up and you hear the endless whirring of various machinery on the other side and the kind of fairly gruff voices of those working within. Glancing into the room, you can see it's quite large. You'd say at least twice the length of the corridor you're in, with this large engine sat within the center. A huge kind of furnace in the space, forming the kind of main portion of it. You can see several kind of fairly large, definitively non-inquisitorial looking men and women working along just in front of it, tending to the machinery, feeding coal in, and just making sure all of the various bits and pieces are functioning. It spreads over 3 levels. In kind of the baseline you're in, there's a long kind of gallery that follows along the exterior edge. Just above you, you can see ladders leading up to it, as well as a stairway on the far end of the room. And then a secondary kind of walkway just above that leads to a hatch on the, again, far end of the room, where you can see small amounts of light kind of cutting through the various kind of grates that form that hatch, moonlight most specifically. The entire room is filled to the brim from that second floor up with heavy steam and smoke as various kind of gases release from the machinery and probably the people working within. It's quite a loud environment and people are just definitively moving around at speed. You do see kind of just off on the far end a few people who are working as they're sat around a small upturned barrel, rolling dice and playing cards, a small group of maybe 4 of them. If you can give me an insight observation check of 3, because of the kind of more damaged sight lines you have and the smoke itself, I can give you an accurate count on how many people may be in there.
I wouldn't suggest that instinct would have any sort of bearing on this. Instinctually know my way around. And...
Not in this scenario, no.
Yeah. Wonderful. 3. I will... How many? We got 2 momentum.
We have 3.
I will nick one of those unless there's any objections.
Do it. Go for it.
Cool.
No, I don't think you should have it.
That just makes me want it even more. So I'm going to that's one. That's 1 success on that first roll. So I need to crit.
That is a star.
Okay. That's nothing. So it's just 1 success. Not a complication though.
That's a good thing. Yeah. You can obviously note the 3 people stood in front of the furnace working away quite happily. Spade shoveling through large piles of coal. And beyond that, you of course have the 4 that you've identified around the barrel on the far end. But you can hear voices around the room on the 2nd and 3rd levels. You spot 1 or 2 people kind of moving around amidst the steam, but you can't form an accurate number beyond what you've already got there.
Okay.
You kind of just lean back from the door to the others. You can still hear the conversation coming from down the corridor, though.
I'll lean
Okay,
back.
so
Yeah.
I have a plan. I'm assuming you tell us what.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Not to jump in. You're wearing inquisitorial gear. You two,
Yes.
as it says, pointing at Kurt and the other lady, look like inquisitorial acolytes or arpos or whatever. We're going to have a hard time disabling this engine, or at least causing any kind of trouble with all of them in there. So you're going to have to get in there and cause an incident. You're going to have to get in there and try and clear the place out. Say there's been a breach, that the channelers are amassing, that something's going on in the cell block, and that it's no longer safe to be in the engine room and they have to evacuate. You get all of them out. Cecily and I can try and mess with these engines.
Sneak in and mess them.
We can all get out the top, up through the skylight over there.
You see kind of Kurt and the woman just look at one another. Kurt answers first. I'm not great at that. We can
Well,
try.
that's why you've got Jack here. That's on the back.
I am I'm strong. I don't talk.
It's all about
good.
being strong. You've just got to walk in there strong, make strong choices, and just sell it. Sell it. Use your strength to sell it. It's all about being burly, right? The Inquisition's. It's all about presence. It's all
Sybil's
about
good at
position.
talking. Sybil, take the fucking rope. You're good at talking.
No, don't forget it's bad. I'm useless in there. It's got to be you. You got
The conversation down the corridor starts to get a little bit louder.
All right.
Get into evacuate, and everyone else can, try and escape with them in the kerfuffle. And make some noise.
Well, Kurt, do we outrank these? Do the Inquisitors outrank these people? We can just tell them what the fuck to do.
They're
Maybe.
border workers.
They're working on an inquisitorial ship. Put the fear of the martyr in them and get them out.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I'm going to take Jack's shoulders and I'm going to look at him and I'm going to go, Jack, it's all right.
I don't like this. I'm not good at talking. I'm not good at...
It's okay. It's okay.
You do this every day.
No, you don't need to lie. You don't need to tell the truth. You just find that thing in between. It's all right. That's all you need to do. Anything you're going to say, just think, I'll say half of it. And that's fine. It's okay. You got this.
I didn't understand any of that.
Exactly. You don't need to. Just
barrel in. We're all going to barrel in. You're going to go in there strong.
Just go. Yeah.
We all barrel in. We'll close the door behind us. You're evacuating people out the skylight. Go.
Jack, who would you be if you were an Inquisitor? That's the question.
The hole is found. Come on. There's people coming. Let's go now.
Oh.
Go.
I just shove him in. I just push him straight into the door.
You swing the door open and just push Jack through bodily.
Followed by Kurt and the other woman, and we all follow and close the door and come behind us.
You blunder into the room, it being the best possible way I can think of describing it. And Jack, you kind of being first through the door, the free workers who are kind of pulling away at the furnace, the woman on the far end, or on the closest portion to you, just turns back, looking over at you. Kind of drops the spade and just
go out. No, fuck it. I don't care what you were doing. Out now. We're evacuating the engine room. Out. The channelers are fucking shit up. Go.
Make me a will persuasion check, difficulty 3 down to 2 because of the ropes.
I assist by looking really scared.
Well, I was going to say Kurt can assist, right, and the other lady because they're oppos.
I have persuasion. What the fuck?
Kurt can assist as he has persuasion. The woman cannot because she does not.
Okay. I'm gonna take one of our momentum because I don't fucking trust myself.
Do it.
Go for it.
Oh, here we go. Oh, fuck hell, please. Do not fuck me because I do not have an alternative story.
Speak from the heart.
Oh, 3 successes.
Yay!
Win.
5 because Kurt rolled a crit.
Ooh.
Well done, Kurt.
Nice.
Kurt's a very persuasive man when you get to know him.
Yeah, so that's 5 momentum.
You walk through, and immediately just start shouting orders as you go. The woman at the front just kind of glances at you, twists back to the others, and before she can turn back, Kurt has already broken line, walked up, grabbed her by the shoulders, and just started pushing her along, shouting at the others, "If you hear the orders, fucking move!" And they just kind of start being just forcing
shunting.
From the far end, you watch as the people who are kind of playing with dice and cards on the barrel hear your entrance, glance up, rapidly just start throwing the dice into their pockets, trying their best to pretend they don't have them, and just kind of pulling up and leading off. As a group, you start to just move people out of the engine room, onto the stairwell. They start kind of funneling up to the second floor. You can hear them kind of immediately shouting to others as their kind of sudden appearance and evacuation is almost immediately questioned by one or two.
Shut up! Shut up! Stop questioning me. Go.
What's going on? Wait, there's no alarm. What the fuck is happening?
Shut the fuck up!
Make me a will persuasion check of 1, please.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is character versus player.
Oh my god, it did its bloody best, but that's 2 successes. It did its bloody best.
Generate momentum. He goes to talk, and you just twist him in place, almost like a half a moment of fuck it, yeah, you slap him in the face. And Kurt just pushes them. Just continuing the line too. Within a few minutes, you've kind of started to push people up onto the next floor. As you reach the top, with everyone with you, the hatch is hanging there. They're kind of stood at the base of it, just glancing down over the railings to try and see what may be causing the evacuation. I warn you now, sending everyone up and out of that door will, by extension, create free chaos, as you will be causing the entirety of the engineering crew up out into the deck.
Well, we literally are about to blow the engines up.
Yeah, yep. I haven't been given any instruction other than get them out of the room. I didn't want to be doing this, so they're going. Wherever they're going to go, they're going.
I mean, we wanted a distraction.
There is your distraction.
Yeah.
Right.
Happy with that?
Honestly,
no, I'm not happy with any of this, Ben.
Yeah, we're on an Inquisitor boat.
Do we have a choice?
Yes.
Well, while this is going on,
do we have a good choice?
Yes, Cecily, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I was just while this is going on, can I sort of dawdle a bit, because all the commotion's ahead of me and the room's now kind of emptied out around me, and just like look for things that I can sabotage, which will not blow up or sink the boat because Sam's still on it, but it's definitely going to scupper it for a little while.
Is anyone going to stay back to help you, or just you?
Yeah. Alice is going to help me.
Cool. In which case, can I get you to make a reason engineering check for me?
If I've got focus in combat engineering,
not as helpful.
That's fine.
I have mechanical engineering. So.
That will be helpful.
I'm just assisting, so just one, right?
So we're going to call this a total difficulty of just 2.
Okay. I got 2 successes. Do you want me to re-roll after you announce the difference? Okay.
I've got 1 success.
Wonderful. Generating momentum. You have a quick look over the
We're still at 6.
It's relatively easy to work out what to do. You basically just need to stop it producing steam in the most rapid way physically possible, because that will essentially just stop the engine dead. Your forward momentum will very, very slowly die off. Obviously, you are still being pushed forward by kind of everything that's happened previously, but it's something. It will stop the engine moving. If you want to, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, in a ship like this, is there a mechanism just to douse the furnace in case of like emergencies?
There is indeed.
Okay, well, I will yank on that cord.
Yeah, you kind of run. The two of you rummage around for a few moments before quickly finding what you need, pulling the large lever, which causes a large kind of amount of water just to drop on into the furnace, immediately dousing the flames. It does send, of course, a burst of steam out through the front of the furnace, filling the room. And exactly. And almost on cue, as those who are kind of on the top of the deck, on that top row, glance down, try and work out what the hell is going on, there's just as that burst of steam enters in. At that point, I assume, Jack, you will be kind of just urging everyone up and out onto the deck?
Yeah, just keep pushing them out. If they ask questions, Inquisitor Channeler spout mumbo jumbo to make them shut up.
Most of them at this point are just following orders and kind of just doing what they're told. It doesn't take you more than a couple of minutes to ship everyone out, up through the small stairwell, through the hatch, and which you can immediately tell leads onto the main deck of the ship. You can see the open air above you and the moon hanging slightly lower in the sky at this point, the stars still twinkling.
It'll have to do.
Are you following after?
No, I'm closing it behind. I'm closing the bulkhead behind me, or before.
Just a hatch.
I'm staying in the room. Yeah, I'm locking it. Is there a lock?
Are we not trying
Yes, on the other side.
get out?
Yeah, I thought we were going to try and get out, and then
We're trying to get out.
I
Right?
thought, are we going out this way? Okay, sure.
In the confusion, there's a load of people walking around.
yeah,
and
there's loads
nobody's
of
gonna
people
see
running
us.
around a bit confused.
And there's a big load of
Okay.
steam. We got
But the
steam
boat,
coming out this
I thought the
house
boats were in the other direction. We double deck to get to the engine room. So if we go out, then we're still going to have to cross the
Yeah.
deck. Wouldn't it be better
You will
to
have
go
to cross
back?
the ship
The
itself,
entire-
Yeah. Would it be better to do that within the corridors or?
You'll be coming out
Okay.
roughly midship. Kurt's told you that his vest is on the aft, just off the aft.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, how long is this boat, give or take? I mean, I wouldn't
You
know, would I?
do not know is the honest answer.
Yeah.
Kurt does. We can ask him. He's seen it.
Easily done. Kurt just kind of looks up 30, 40 meters from here to the boat.
Okay. That's not too far.
You can do that in the confusion.
Wait.
All the steam.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
That'd be,
expecting it, though.
it
They're
will-
not,
we're-
they're not
we're-
expecting
what-
anything. They're
Whatever we do it. We have to be quick about it now because
because steam.
Yeah, are we going on the deck or are we going through the ship?
we're going.
My vote is deck. It's up to everybody else.
All right.
Good.
I say deck.
Yeah.
We've got the
deck,
first pack.
deck. Use the confusion. We can run for it towards the back.
Okay. Brilliant. You, at that point, both Alister and Cecily, you kind of run up and just loop around the floors until you get to the top point. It's at roughly this moment the last of the crew are sent up onto the deck. You kind of just look at one another, have that quick conversation, and as a group, charge up into the moonlight. And as that is a fairly wonderful little pausing point, at this moment, we'll go for a short break. As you step out onto the deck of the ship and see what happens next.
Ooh.
So I'll say we'll be gone. Let's say aim to be back for 1:30, everyone. So it gives us about 10-12 minutes for teas and various bits and pieces. So we will see you all shortly. you. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us over the break as we return to our trustworthy and heroic team, making their way up onto the main deck of the ship. Following after the engineering crew, you clamber up the small stairwell and find yourself stood on the deck of a large, well, what would have once been a battleship, leading about 80 meters from point to back and 30 meters or so wide. You come out just below the kind of protruding point of the chimneys is the wrong word, and I know it's the wrong word, but it's currently the only one I can think of.
Smokestacks?
Thank you. Smokestacks, which are currently at this point starting to just die off. The steam coming out from under you hits the cool night air and starts to just dissipate. There is a burst of commotion around you, of course, as the engineering crew make their way up onto the deck, and several acolytes that were up until that moment patrolling it stop, turn in place, and start just approaching, asking what on earth is happening. You can see kind of lining the edges of the ship several cannons moored in place, all of which are kind of tied down. You can see coverings layered across them, and you just follow your eye line down towards the kind of point of the ship, and you can see right on the front section a raised up portion, which is again sealed off by a few bulkheads. But you can see kind of windows with lights emanating out from a single room that sits on the other end. To your back, as I've mentioned, is the smokestack and a large portion of kind of raised hull and small walkways that lead to around either side of it, leading to the aft section of the vessel, meaning you're going to have to kind of cut around. As I say, to this point, several acolytes and inquisitors make their way over to the engineering group. You hear the raised voices of, "What are you doing out? What's going on with the engine? One of you, he came in and told us that we had to shut up shop. Apparently the channelers had escaped. The ship's going to blow. What the He just, the lead inquisitor just pushes them to one side. Eyes follow, just kind of tracking through the crowd. Who gave the order?
I just like, how does this robe work? Is it like a full, you've got like a tunic thing, or like an over the shoulders jacket? Like, how does this work?
It's more of an over the shoulder. It's more of a kind of arms through jacket that is tied at the waist.
I'm just going to take it off then and put it like at the back of the group. Just take it off because I've still got my jacket, my coat on underneath. So I'm just going to take it off and look like one of the crew members.
That is your entire plan.
Well, if they see an Inquisition member at the back of the crew, at the back of the thing, they're going to go, "Why the fuck did you tell them to leave?"
Just checking. You throw off your jacket and kind of just stand there at the back of the crew as several of the engineers just kind of continue to argue. You can hear these raised voices, them basically saying, "Look, you fuckers told us to come out here. It's not up to us. We're just following orders." The Inquisitor then argues back and shouts, "Just point me at whoever said this." They gesture back, looking through the small number of them. There only turn out to be about 12 or so engineers. They gesture back to you, who is just kind of stood on the deck, having dropped your robes to the floor.
I thought this was much larger. I really thought this was a much larger crowd. Oy.
Except it wasn't a huge number of people. You also didn't ask.
Yeah. The momentum can't veto that shit, can it? Did I spend 2 momentum to veto that shit?
Can I spend a void point for Jago to have his robes back on?
It's not the first time that's been said.
Wow, that's so much more cutting because it's a woman saying it as well.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm happy to call that 2 momentum.
Okay,
lovely. Veto that shit.
You start to throw the clothes off, just as you hear them kind of talking between themselves to identify who it is, you feel the weight of the eyes passing over to you and just fling your clothes back on. And of course, everyone else who is just behind, both Kurt and the woman, just kind of take themselves to the side and already started to break off and head towards the walkways, quietly trying to encourage people to follow.
I'm
Following them.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna back away slowly, hoping that with all the attention, no offense, sorry, all the attention on Jack, we can kind
Why?
You picked up the road, man.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got a plan. No, I don't.
If I can ask everyone but Jack to make me a agility stealth check, please. Difficulty 2. So feel free to do this in order.
I'm not going to pass that.
Oh,
that was agility stealth, yeah?
Agility stealth.
Could I, would facing the crowd help me here at all?
Yes, facing the crowd will definitely help you here.
Okay.
I've got 2 options of ways I can bullshit this.
Do we have any momentum? Because I've only got 7 total.
We've got tons.
We have 4.
Nice. Yeah, you're on 4, aren't you?
Yeah.
Pretty please, can I buy a dice?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Thank you.
No, fuck. Where the fuck is the 3? There it is. I'm nervous. I got a bullshit.
Do this. You got this.
Can I?
Yeah, I reckon. Jack spent enough time around Subil to have at least picked up some bullshit.
Okay, no, I'm taking your advice on what you said on how to do this. So
This is what I mean. This is why I said it.
Yeah, I got an idea.
First and foremost, can I get answers from everyone's stealth checks, please? We'll start with Cecily, because she looks disappointed.
Got 2 successes and 1 almost, but not quite a complication. So failure. I've got an 18.
That was close.
In the edge.
Really tried its best.
We've got 2 successes.
Wonderful. Subil?
2 successes.
The 3 of you just break from the crowd. We'll assume that Jules is kind of just following him after as best she can. And you just go off into 2 teams, following Kurt in one direction and that lady in the other. Breaking around, just move from the crowd, start edging along just around the exterior portions of the hole. You can see on the far end, as you're making your way down those walkways, that the aft of the ship kind of raises up, and you can see a series of stairs leading onto a secondary deck, and a large, fairly ornate-looking portion. There is no bulkhead on a doorway on that second level. But you can see inside glittering candles, and the fairly Spartan interior immediately designates a chapel. You can see figures inside. It's at this point that the Inquisitor on the deck cuts through the crowd as a couple other acolytes start basically trying to get answers from the engineers and then shipping them back downstairs. He walks directly up to you.
They've broken out. It's there's a lock's busted down there. There's 2 of us knocked out and locked in one of the cells. I don't know where they've gone.
You start saying that, and as he kind of closes towards you, he hasn't quite got within talking distance yet. You just start shouting it. He takes one look at you, your face not obscured, and reaches for his thumb. The words immediately blaring out, immediately shouting, "Channel loose!"
That's what I was trying to say, but fine. Can we act? Can I act against this at all, or am I getting shot at?
I'll allow you to spend a momentum to hold the, or 2 momentum to hold the initiative and act immediately. As unfortunately, the blunt truth of the matter is, they know your face.
Yeah, I figured it was a long shot, but it was one worth taking. They can. I can't believe I'm saying this. They can have a shot at me.
Okay.
The pistol raises from his belt, clicks towards you. You see him pull the hammer down. The rest of you, as you're kind of passing onto the aft deck, you hear the shout and the gunshot. Meanwhile,
2 for 2.
Edlynnne.
What's up, guys?
Sorry, who are you?
In a while.
I'm a ghost.
It's been a
yeah.
while.
I'm literally just haunting the ship, and I'm just like, ooh.
Edlynnne,
Hola.
you stand. I say that. Should I do this?
Should we be here for this?
Our wonderful, wonderful tech gods to quickly leave me just with Holly for 5 minutes. I know I've given no warning to this whatsoever, so I do apologise.
Oh, oh my god.
Black?
Oh, here we go.
Do I have to take my headphones off now?
Guys.
Edlynnne, you stand alone.
Okay.
The last of the Iron Men having been torn apart. You stand bloodied. The thick iron skin coating your body dented and damaged across your form.
Okay.
But you are yet unbroken. Purple lightning arcs across the sky as the figure in front of you cavorts, dancing over the ruins of several of its latest victims. Its multi-limbed mass just pulling limbs free from several of the Iron Men, blades still projecting from its body as small pools of silvered blood leak from its form and just drip onto the floor. You can just hear it chuckling with every crack of bone as it readjusts itself and just slowly kind of falls off of this pile of bodies and just starts to kind of pace around you.
Just keep an eye on it, and just if it starts to make a move, I'm just gonna swing at it until it inevitably kills me. Because let's face it, probably will.
You just kind of keep your blade ready and watch as it just falls around your form, slowly pacing and chuckling. Just this endless.
So literally me every day since last week. Then cool.
Yeah, that works. And it just kind of, at one point, moves past a small form in the rock, and just on the kind of carpet of twisting forms of men, women that form the landscape below. They're obsidian forms, the same things you're stood on at the moment. And it just stops next to a child and lowers itself, still chuckling.
Does the child look kind of familiar? Just a random
the
child?
statue of a random child, just diminutive in form, and it just kind of reaches down, just cradles its head amongst 4 hands, and just twists it free from the stone, and just holds it up, looking at you, and just.
I mean, don't have to laugh every time you look at me. That's pretty mean, my dude. Come on.
You fall, and he's next.
I mean,
all of you add to my collection.
well, I haven't fallen there yet, so I mean, just still kind of like ready to attack if he starts to come at me.
It just drops the head and lowers down.
Just gonna like hold the sword kind of back and just get ready for my inevitable ass whooping that's going to be handed to me once again.
You kind of prepare yourself, and he just pushes himself down, almost spider-like in his makeup at this point, before scampering forwards at speed. You get prepared, swing down. Can you make a agility fighting check for me, please?
Yes. Give me 1 second while I load up this sheet that I never thought I'd need again. Agility fighting. Proficiency in melee weapons, would that help me at all?
Yeah, that's going to help.
Oh, well, that's a natural 1 and a 13, so hold on. That's 3 successes in total then for me.
You swing your blade down, immediately aiming for kind of the center mass, cutting through the various extortions of limbs. The blade tears through one of them, severing an arm, and it just spins in place, letting the limb drop free, snapping 2 arms onto your leg, and just pulling your leg out from under you. You got 3 successes, you said?
Yes.
You lose by 4.
That's fine. I mean, I'm just happy I actually passed the fighting check for once in my life. I mean, look at that.
Immediately, you drop to the ground, and it just twists around, running over your body, snapping hands around your head and neck, raising it and slamming your face repeatedly into the stone floor.
Ow, ow. Ow.
Your vision goes blurry as the repeated injuries just cause your consciousness to start to fade. You feel it wrap its fingers then as you're kind of brought up, blood dripping from your mouth, hitting the floor and immediately turning to metal. And it just kind of cradles your head for a moment.
Can I... No. Do I still have weapon? Can I try to do stabby stab again?
You can make a opposed brawn athletics check.
I think they spent all the momentum, didn't they? The greedy buggers.
They do tend to do that.
How? Honestly, that's so rude. Come on, Edlynnne. Oh, 13 again, so that's a pass. And a 9, so 2 passes. I'm going to guess he won. But, again, she's passing her fighting checks again.
He beats you by 1, unfortunately.
It's fine.
You try to struggle and just push your arms free. And at this point, you can just feel the various portions of him just reaching out to just encompass your entire form. And just leans down. It has no mouth. It's just this mass of stone and twisted flesh and a singular eye just protruding out from it. And it just leans down next to you to the point where you can feel warm air passing across your ear. And just the meat of his face slowly separates out, splitting and breaking to the point where you can see the blood begin to pour free as teeth at awkward angles and unnatural sizes break, and a large tongue kind of slides free, just lashing just against the edge of your ear.
Nope. I actually cringe. Oh, no.
At that point, he just kind of grips your head again, raises it, and slams it back down to the earth. You feel your neck crack. You feel the metal around your throat break open and sever as it impacts into a large point of jagged obsidian. The last thing you feel as the blood just starts to gush free, coating the stone under you, is it cackling as it just holds you in place and just starts to tear at the skin of your face. As your vision just disappears in this horrendous mass of rapidly moving fingers, screams and laughter as your skin is literally just torn from your face. You snap awake.
Damn, I've got to stop eating cheese before, like, these, whatever these are. I want to see, man, these nightmares. How real did it feel like really real? Did it like
you felt every second of it?
I guess then when I snap away, one hand instantly goes to face, the other goes to where I was shot, and I just want to like feel around.
You bring your hands up, and just where his claws had impacted in, there are new kind of metal scars in exactly the same spaces. The side of your head, you can just feel it. The hair is gone from about here. Your ear has been destroyed.
Who needs this anyway?
All you can feel is this smooth metal running across, as if someone had literally just carved that portion of your face off and replaced it with iron.
And how, just so I've got a reference, it's how much is that like affecting the actual like facial like things? Does that like go to a certain point?
So from about there,
yeah,
it's following down, around, and looping back there. You also have an impact like here.
Yeah.
And it's at that point, as you kind of snap awake, your eyes feeling heavier than they previously had, and trying to adjust to a small level of light, as you find yourself in a quite tight room, surrounded by, on every angle, by boxes and crates, including a large kind of chained box that sits on the far end next to a bulkhead door. A small amount of moonlight bleeds in from a porthole behind you, and you can just feel the ship moving from side to side. And at this point, we're going to bring everyone else back if we can.
Ooh. I hope they come back. I don't want to deal with my trauma alone.
Oh, that is a very strange visual on James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you did, bro?
Somehow it's better. He's also muted as hell.
I'm a cave. I'm just a cave now. This is where I live. Okay. Like, it's sort of working. Give me a second. I'll press
Caveman, man of cave.
We figured out James's next character. He's just going to play cave.
I'm just a cave.
Billy, cave.
Yeah.
Cave.
James is the embodiment of cave.
Nobody gets that, but we do, so therefore it's a very inside joke.
It's good.
You don't have any inside jokes, Jago. No one
I'm
pays attention.
sure it was hilarious.
Full outside jokes.
I've got all the inside jokes. I'm a cave. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Hard on the outside, hollow on the inside.
Yeah,
James.
perfect. Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much like Edlynnne's head, just hollow, because, you know, shot. It's funny when I make jokes about my character's death, because then you guys can't do it.
No, I thought you were making jokes about your character's intelligence.
Oh no, she's also very stupid, and so am I. You know,
Oh god,
consistency.
Shit, what am I going to do? I've just remembered the scenario I'm in.
Well, you might be dead, so you don't have to do anything.
You can join me in the dead parent squad who's been shot.
Yo,
Parent squad.
It's a great club, honestly.
do we
I
have
love it.
do we have like jackets? You guys have
Yeah, we do.
jackets?
Yeah, we've got
Oh, fuck
jackets, we've got
yes.
bags, we've got
It
badges.
is also, member of the Dead Parents Club is also a prerequisite to become a Disney princess.
So really,
Yeah.
Sam is becoming
Huh?
a Disney character because
honestly, we're setting him up. We're setting them up for great things.
Or a Disney villain.
I mean, still great things. They're a star in
There's
a
a fine
film.
line between the origin stories.
Say first one, then the other. Right. On that note, Edlynnne,
Hola.
you stumble around in the small room, picking yourself up and just adjusting to the kind of new weight of your head. Literally, as you stand, you kind of lean to one side ever so slightly.
This is what having a brain feels like? I'm kidding.
There's this odd sensation as you are now completely deaf on the right side of your head. You literally do not have an ear.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
And you just kind of hold yourself there for a moment, still dressed in your plain clothes, no weapons, no armor, nothing. And you can hear, just from the porthole behind you that's just kind of swung open slightly, shouting, followed quickly by a gunshot. Just echoing out across the water of across the air of the water you're on.
Even though at this point Edlynnne has been dead, I'm just gonna stand there and be like, guarantee it's those fuckers. I swear down.
Who else is it gonna be?
I swear, for fuck's sake.
You will be coming back with a mental injury immediately.
That's fine. I kind of gathered.
Yep.
Yeah, I gathered.
Implied.
It really was.
And bluntly, that's going to be essentially shell shock. You'll be very, very unsteady on your feet, find things quite difficult to comprehend for a few moments.
So really me on a daily basis?
Yeah. I mean, let's... Okay.
Do we need to bring up the example from yesterday?
Yeah, about your phone.
Do we need to bring up the phone?
I mean, I don't feel
you is
throwing...
what that says about you.
I don't feel throwing the task, trials and tribulations of existing along there with actual victims of shell shock.
No, I'm just saying the way you described it just sounds like me on a daily basis. I'm not saying that, obviously, but
I know.
I can't do words properly.
I'm taking the piss, don't worry. Either way, you kind of very unsteadily stand in the room. What do you do?
I guess after taking a few moments just to kind of get my bearings the best I can, just have a quick look around the room. Because I don't have any weapons, I'm just going to have a look around, see if there's anything I can use as a kind of substitute before I try to make my way to the door to...
Do me an insight observation check of 1, please.
Come on, Eddie, you can do this. You're somewhat decent. No, you're... fuck off, no, you're not. I mean, that was 2 fails, but no crits. It hit my iPad and, yeah.
You glance around the room, and whereas there is a complete bevy of unopened crates and boxes, you can't really make out anything that seems immediately helpful.
Fine, I'm not going to spend too long having a look because I kind of want to make sure that no one's died.
Give it time.
So if I can't find anything immediately, I'll just kind of stop looking and go to the door and just see if I can open it from my end.
Yep. You make your way over to the door. It's the same as all the other ones that everyone has encountered thus far. Just a heavy wheel in the center of it. Grab hold of that, twist, and the lock on the door just unbolts, swings free. Immediately opens into a long corridor that twists off to the right, first and foremost, and then down to the left. As you kind of unsteadily step out, you can hear people talking down on the far left. The door having swung outwards, kind of obscuring you from whatever may be there. And footsteps kind of making their way down towards you. Double pace. You can hear them moving quite quickly.
Is that also from the left, or is that from
That's
the right?
from the left, yeah.
Left from the left.
On the right, you can see this long trail of kind of what looks to be your own blood having hardened and turned to metal, leading towards the door you're in.
Well, I guess when in doubt, follow your own blood trail. Am I right? Or what else can a girl do?
I mean, I've heard worse logic.
Yeah, follow the Iron Blood Road.
Fair. You twist and just start charging off, following that as quickly as you can. You hear, as you just charge off, the footsteps behind you start to speed up a bit. A door slam and shouts coming from behind. By the mud! Stop! Stop!
Just gonna
and you just keep going.
Yeah, just as quick as I can in my kind of shell-shocked.
Make me a brawn athletics check, please.
Yeah, she's. Why? I thought she was decent at stuff. What's happened, Eddie? Come on.
I suppose.
That's a 17, so no, this one fell, so I'm rerolling. It fell again, so this one. Everything's literally falling. Okay, you know what? That's a 19, so nope. No, so no passes.
That's a 19. You said so. That's not only a fail, that's a complication.
Yep.
You twist. You continue charging down that corridor. As the shouts go off behind, you hear one of them just curse, and then the sounds of a gunshot as they trail to try and take a shot at you as you sprint away from them. We're going to say as they're running, this is going to be a difficulty 2 check. The shot splits past where your ear used to be and impacts into the bulkhead of the ship directly in front of you. You're coming up to a turn, which just goes directly left.
Yeah. Just gonna.
Or right, sorry.
I'm just gonna leg it through there as quick as I can, and then see if there's anywhere I can try to take cover. If there's any doors open on the other side.
Yeah, you twist around the right, and kind of glance down, and you see just on the floor this pool of iron and several spikes cascading from the wall next to you as that corridor kind of leads directly down away from you. To your left, there is a large door that's been kind of left open, and you can see an empty engine room. And in front, there is a continued corridor that twists up to a stairwell leading up and off.
Guess to just if the door to the engine room is closer, just kind of go through there and hope to God I get in there before they see me, and hopefully they just think I've run up.
I was going to say, there's no way they're not going to spot you, unfortunately, as they are directly just behind you. You leap through, just leaping into the engine room.
Just leaping in and trying to close the door, so at least then they've kind of got a second or two to maybe try to find something to put in front of it.
Absolutely fine. You dart through. Just make me an agility athletics check, please.
Don't fuck me up again, please, dice. Hey, 2 passes.
Perfect. You dive in just as they reach the door. You can see 3 inquisitorial acolytes coming up behind you. 2 of which have now drawn their pistol, and the other one is just kind of drawn a sword and trying to outrun them. You slam the bulkhead behind you, start pulling it across, and as you do, I'm just going to spend 2 chaos to cause you a little complication.
You're so mean to me.
Yeah, I try.
Ben.
As you're going, you bring your hand up and across and don't notice a kind of loose piece of broken metal that hangs on the other side of the bulkhead. You catch your hand on it and just send a small gush of blood emanating out from your hand, landing onto the mechanism, literally the handle. Mm-hmm. It hits onto that, and you just watch as it hardens in place and causes the rest of the metalwork around it just to warp slightly. You step back, and that initial thought that ran through your head of getting something to block the door, the handle itself sets. You watch it move really unnaturally, whereas you would expect it to hit, drop, and slide along the edges. Mm-hmm. It hits and spreads towards you, wrapping around the entirety of the wheel and just locking it in place.
just gonna watch that, look down at my hand, look back up at that, and just be like, what the what?
The wound on your hand is already sealed.
I'm just gonna take a moment to watch that, and then just be like, you know what? Maybe I should just leave. And now, and then just try to find a way out of the engine room.
You kind of step back. You can hear people banging on the door from the other side as you can see the wheel trying to turn and not managing it. You can hear muffled shouts, and then above you, you can hear more commotion as you glance up and you can see through now a fairly steam-free room, a large steam engine sat in the middle of the room that just leads straight up into a series of walkways that loop into a opening going up onto the main deck. You can see a couple of men and women kind of making their way quite rapidly into the room away from the upper deck.
If I look around quickly, is there anything I can find to just kind of cover all of what's going on? Because, you know, if someone comes down and sees someone who has half a face of eye, isn't it gonna question it?
Make me an insight observation check of 2, please.
I'm going to tell you when to fail this.
I am so scared.
Yep, 17 and an 18. Told you, no complications. But
you glance around and you do find literally just someone's overalls that's been left on the side that are completely the wrong size.
I mean,
and as you kind of pick them up and look over them, we're going to go back ever so slightly and see if someone's about to shoot Jack in the face.
I mean, they're going to try.
It would be so funny if you died because of a gunshot.
Well, you know, it would be funny for some.
It'd be
And
so
by
funny.
some, I mean all of you.
It would be so funny.
Yeah, I would thought would have been funnier is if Holly had been resurrected and then got killed and we hadn't even realised it.
Yeah, we just left.
I literally would have laughed so hard if I just got shot again.
I would have. Jesus Christ.
We would have had another gunshot and go, what? But we were all here.
Did they just kill Sam?
How much armor do you have, Jack?
2.
2. The pistol, Inquisitorial Agent rips the pistol free from its holster and takes a shot at you. You dive to the side at the last second, it just clipping you and just flying off the edge of your clothing, a small, very, very small burst of blood just following after. You take 1 point of damage after armor.
After armor, okay.
After armor. The shout then immediately goes across the deck as the engineers break, panic, and just move away from you as rapidly as possible. Several of them just immediately leap to the stairwell back into the engine room. Others, kind of not really knowing where to go, step away, sprint to the edge of the ship. The 2 other Inquisitorial acolytes that were following the lead reach for their weapons, both drawing a blade free. And you hear one of them immediately kind of reach for a whistle and start blowing on that. Because clearly the gunshot wasn't loud enough.
Yeah.
A couple of seconds pass, and another whistle goes off from further along the deck, away from you and everyone else, so towards the front of the ship.
We're already rumbled.
Several other
Really
agents
rumbled.
that were patrolling the long edge of the vessel kind of notice the sound immediately and move to start heading down towards you. You can very quickly count amongst the chaos beyond the 3 in front of you, 6 more men on the deck itself. And that's when it comes to all of your actions. Or more precisely, one of you, and then them. And back and forth.
Is it time to tank?
I think yes.
I see those nods.
I think.
One might suggest it was some kind of time for clobbering.
I see. Now,
Take
I see your
momentum away, can I?
no, I hold that shit tight. Okay.
Do you actually have momentum?
Yes, we do.
I feel I should ask, how much did you spend, Holly?
What?
I didn't.
You didn't. That's fine.
I didn't. No, because I didn't know we had any, because I thought these fuckers spent it all.
Don't scare me like that.
If I knew you had it, I would have spent every single point.
Dickhead.
Yep.
Okay, overtaking flesh, level 2.
Are you sure?
We're fucking rumbled. What else am I meant to do?
Just checking. Cast your spell.
I don't know if I want to anymore.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Yeah,
Just a car.
true. Should I just go?
It's completely up to you. You can cast it if you want.
I think at this stage we can either leg it or you can fuck shit up and then leg it.
But the last time I tried to fuck shit up, it backfired immediately.
We just opened the door. That's all that happened.
Maybe you
Need
should
it
have.
to
Maybe don't.
What's it gonna be?
I am going to. I'm not going to cast. I'm just going to bolt.
You're just going to bolt?
Yeah.
Absolutely
I'm
fine.
not going to cast shit. These are people designed to take down channelers.
You turn and sprint. Just heading, I assume, for the two walkways the rest of the group went down.
They're going that way. Yeah.
You make me a brawn athletics check of 1, please. I assume you're literally just spending your entire action just fucking go.
Oh, yeah. No, I ain't. Okay. Brawn athletics, yay, things I'm good at. Would you look at that? 2 passes.
Wonderful. No complications, I assume?
No.
Generating momentum, you charge off. You immediately feel the lead Inquisitor reaching down just to click the hammer down on his revolver and track for another shot as the rest of the crew starts to react. Thankfully, at this point, you've actually run towards the same direction as several of the engineers, almost kind of darting between them, hoping for some level of cover.
Yeah. They won't shoot their own engineers, right? Right?
From behind, as one of the agents take their action, the Inquisitor, as his rank is that, he is not an acolyte, he is just an Inquisitor, trains the shot on you. You feel his eyes on the back of your head, and he just curses, shouting, "Get after them!" as he cannot get a clear line of sight on you through the engineers.
Thank you, compassion. I'm sorry I have to use that against you.
So he spends his major action trying to take a shot and then refusing, and then he'll just kind of start moving up after you. Everyone else gets a turn. I am now going to fold Holly back into the initiative order. Hey, name the channel.
Hey!
And
roll
you
credit.
guys can pick your actions, literally the order in which you go, but it will move you, them, you, them, you, them. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to hold mine till last as like a rear guard, so people
I mean, I don't
can run past and I can covering fire with them.
Yeah, I'm basically useless in combat, so I'm just going to be like legging it. I'm assuming after Kurt to get to the boat because we've been rumbled and we need to get out of there quickly.
Okay, cool. So you taking the lead on that one then, or Kurt and the lady will be charging in afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to head for the boat. I'm just going to try and get.
Absolutely fine. Just make me a brawn athletics check of 1 as you start charging forwards.
Yep. I don't have any athletics. This is going to go so well.
It's going to be a brawn check then.
Just a brawn check.
Oh no.
Please be kind, dice.
Dice say no.
That is 1 failure and a complication. So.
You start charging forwards across the deck. Kurt kind of moving ahead just in front. He calls out to both yourself and we'll say Jules went in your direction. It just points just to the kind of port side of the aft. Ship's down there, just jump off the edge.
Okay.
As you just start charging, he keeps moving. You get to the point where you're just coming up to the base of the stairs on the chapel as you see the door opening up. Or more precisely, someone stepping out of the chapel. The whistles now going off across the entirety of the ship. You hit the stair, slip, and just slam directly into them.
Okay.
You feel your ribs kind of not crack, but definitively bruise under the impact. Pull yourself up, start to move as you see Kurt kind of reach the top of the stairs, bitterly swear, pulling a pistol from the interior of his coat and aiming for the chapel. You track his eye line as you see Traeger just step out.
Oh, shit.
Our battle ended 500 years ago.
A look of
Well, now
abject, a mixture of fury and joy across his face as he just kind of reaches out. The shot fires directly towards him, and you see this mesh of barbed wire rip out from behind him, tearing across his shirt and covering his front as the bullet just impacts into the center of it. The same wires then reach out, rush down his arms, and terminate at his fingertips from each hand as he just has this kind of finger-esque whips of razor wire. I'm glad of it's ending this way. And he just steps towards Kurt.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
Wait, no, actually, no. Oh, that's actually making me sad.
It's then their turn.
No, don't kill Kurt before I can give him back his knife.
Hey, Holly,
Yes.
I need you to roll a agility fighting check for Kurt, please.
Oh.
I mean,
He
it
has a
makes
target
sense.
number of 14,
Why
and
did I
I'm
choose
going
you,
to
man?
allow you to
Yeah.
treat it as a PC for the purposes of spending momentum.
Do we have momentum?
Traeger closes towards him.
I don't
Do we
want
have
Kurt to
momentum,
die.
Jago? We have 4. Then I'm spending 3.
Ooh, big numbers. Going
I care about
Right
Kurt
out
more
the-
than I care about
Yeah,
myself,
yeah.
okay?
right out the gate with 2 dice.
It's a 6, 11, and an 8, and a 17. So 3 passes in total, unless any of those are focus numbers for him.
No, he doesn't have a focus in melee weapons, which is the distance that they're closing into.
Okay,
However-
just a 3 passes then.
Wonderful. He is currently, apart from literally the pistol he emptied and firing it, as it's a flintlock, completely unarmed apart from a single knife. Traeger steps towards him, raising his arms back, brings out the blade, and swings it down towards you. Brings out these lashes of wire and swings them out towards Kurt. Kurt drops to his knees and rolls under the attack. The wires swinging over his head, closes into a short distance and slams his knife down, aiming for Traeger's leg. Please roll 3 damage.
Kurt learned the Dark Souls
honestly,
way. Well
I should
done.
just be Kurt, honest to God.
Yeah, just change of plan. Edlynnne died, and Holly's now playing Kurt.
Yep.
So, you're not going to believe this, Ben, but I promise
No.
to God, this is what I rolled. 3 Cthulhu faces.
It's 3 damage with 3 piercing.
Shank, shank, shank.
Yeah.
Honest to God, Kurt is a beast and I
3.
love him.
I don't want to fight Kurt anymore. He's got my
On-
worst enemy,
That's
piercing.
redemption.
He's got piercing.
Yeah, literally.
It's
I
really
see
bad.
piercing on that stat sheet. I run.
I'm taking this as a sign, as I can't roll any fighting for Edlynnne whatsoever. But the second I roll over as Kurt, it's like, yep, here you go.
I feel
Cecily,
like
you
I should-
watch as Kurt's blade cuts across the trouser leg of Traeger, revealing underneath again this living mesh of wires that just kind of formulate underneath. The blade cuts through some of the some of the wire, and it actually causes a small amount of blood to just leak out from them. Traeger, with a grimace, steps back, allows the wires to just fall out around him like these long tendrils, locks eyes with Kurt, and the two of them immediately move back to attack one another. It's then one of your actions.
I don't know if I can roll this well again for Kurt, so maybe don't make me do that. Not straight away. Let me just have this moment.
Just let the dice charge up again.
All I'm saying is if he survives, and if I played him as a PC, he's getting my 5 XP. Oh, okay?
See, this is why I have more dice, because dice need time to charge, so you just got to keep going through dice.
I mean, could I
Who's it gonna be?
Can I take Edlynn's action and just say she reaches and tries to just, she sees what happens and is like, okay, cool, maybe I should help people.
You can't actually see any of this because you're still at the bottom of the engine.
Okay, then I just want to take the action. Actually, no, if that's the case, then I'll let somebody else go and then I'll take my action to get there.
Have I already I've already acted this turn.
You've already acted. So
yeah, okay. I just wanted
Subil,
to make sure.
Subil and Alister to go for, or in that case, so one or the other.
Billy.
Is Cecily still on the floor? Is she still falling in?
She's kind of picked herself up. You're rounding, at this point, you've kind of rounded from the other side of the ship. You can see Cecily picking herself up, Kurt immediately entering combat with Traeger on the kind of base of that second aft deck. You just saw him kind of shouting out and pointing towards the port side, which is unfortunately where both he and Traeger are now stood.
Typical.
Jules is helping Cecily up as she was directly behind. You can hear the whistles coming from behind you, and there's a couple of bulkhead doors below that second aft deck. You can see the wheels on them turning.
I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm gonna keep heading for the boat, trying to maneuver myself back over towards where Jules and Cecily are, and try and regroup on the sprint.
Yeah, no worries.
Heading just directly for the boat. Yeah.
If you can do me a brawn athletics check of 1, then please.
Absolutely. Athletics does not exist in Sybil's vocabulary or skill set. Yeah. Oh, I needed a 7 and I got 2 7s.
That's all you can ask for.
Solid.
You generate a momentum and you just dart across the floor, across the deck as you see those doors getting ready to open. You reach up just with Cecily and Jules at this point, stood at the base of the stairs. Is there anything you want to say to them? Now is the time. I would attempt to imitate Jules saying hello, but I would be doing Max some massive discernment.
Howdy?
Yeah.
Hi, y'all.
Go.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. Shit's a bit fucked, ain't it?
Sybil,
Y'all thinking we should maybe get on this boat right here?
You can already see Kurt and Traeger trying to exchange blows. Kurt masterfully dodging past swipe after swipe as Traeger just tanks hit after hit, almost letting Kurt get in closer.
New favorite character. It's Kurt. I love him.
in the nicest possible way. That's the distraction we need. Sybil doesn't have time for words. He's just going to usher Cecily and Jules towards the boat if they're not already running that direction. And I guess Sybil's going to just try and get an eye on the mechanism that's holding the boat in place. Can we see the boat from where we are?
Not yet. However, now you're kind of actively looking around, you get a much better idea of where you actually are in the world itself.
In general.
Glancing out, you can see to the rear of the ship, a good distance away, maybe a mile, if not slightly more, the lights of Southhurt. You're quite far out onto the water at this point, as I say, a mile or so, and you can see the shore of distant areas off to your right and left. Again, 2 miles in each way, maybe. So you've come quite far out onto the water at this point.
Good moment to say that I can't swim. I mean, like, as Holly, I'm sure Edlynnne can, but I'm glad I'm not in this situation.
Quite out, but it's an inland sort of sea, so it's not like there's going to be huge waves of currents. So getting off onto a little boat is going to be fine. So distance really is just time taken to get back to shore rather than danger levels. So we need to get off as fast as possible if the plan is still to get off. That's all. That's what's going through Sybil's head as he's looking around.
With that, though, that is unfortunately the end of your action.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You kind of reach down, have a look around, and just get your bearings as Kurt and Traeger continue to swing for one another. At that point, you can hear the whistles from behind closing towards you as the last of you run down those little kind of alleyways on either end of the ship. It's at this point you kind of see Jack making his way up as 2 Inquisitors follow shortly thereafter. Now, the 2 I'm mentioning, they're acting essentially as a single squad, so they have a combined stress pool and make one attack as a group rather than 2 shots coming off at you. They budge their way down through that narrow pathway, literally just shoving engineers out of the way as they're urged to the fore end of the ship. You feel a couple of shots track on your back, Jack, as they try and take the shot. Assistance. It is a hit, but it is a hit with complication.
Ooh.
You take 2 damage after your armor.
Okay.
And again, it just kind of whizzes past you, 2 separate rounds spinning past as you hear one of them just curse and just throw the pistol down to the floor. You hear kind of a crack of a misfire.
Okay.
What is it with Sam's parents being bullet magnets, eh?
We're good. We're the tanky boys.
You are the tanks of the group.
With your tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do tank. We do our jobs. Let's put it that way.
Which will then lead us back to Alister, assuming you're going before Holly.
Yeah, it would make sense, seeing as I'm going to spend a whole round getting up there.
Since you're
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. How far is Jack from sort of where we are on the gantry way?
Long distance. It's going to take him a full turn to reach you.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Sorry, Carl. I'll ask on my turn.
Go on.
It's so the way I've got this mapped out in my head. Me, Kurt, and Kanehurst, rest of group.
I mean, if you want Kanehurst to be there, I can put Kanehurst there, but you don't want
not Kanehurst. Other Traeger. That's it.
Traeger.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
They're up on
right?
a different gantryway off to the.
Yeah.
Right. So they're here.
Okay.
There's a gantryway here where most of the crew is here, and then you're sort of running this way and probably up towards the empty one, not the epic fight battle that happened over there.
Okay.
So from where I am then, which is kind of over here, I'm then gonna get down towards Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And try and either get in between the 2 of them, or at least take a shot at somebody following him.
Easily done. You rush up to the edge where you can hear Jack coming. Watch a couple of shots as literally you stop yourself going around the corner as 2 fly down the edge of the ship. Yeah. Twist in place to come around. You see Jack just about to pass you. And you can see 2 Inquisitors running up behind. One of them just literally throwing a flintlock that has had the barrel flinging that to the side as you train a shot.
Could I get to them with my move and then attack them, or could I not?
You won't be able to reach them. You'll have to take a shot, basically.
Oh, because I was going to do something very cool. Well, I wasn't given my dice, but anyway. So I'll take a shot at the one who still has his gun that works.
Easily done. He's at the front as well, and it's quite a narrow walkway, so if you put him down, you'll naturally make your life a little bit easier. He's in range, but you have kind of sprinted across, so I'm going to call this difficulty 2.
Cool. What's the
that'll be
agility?
Coordination fighting. As
Coordination
his ranged attack.
That's okay. That is 3 successes with
Nice.
a Cthulhu face. So, yes.
As this is a flintlock pistol, it's got the munition rule, which means no matter when you fire it, you have to expend ammo to do so, which means this immediately gains vicious. So it will be a base of 4 dice plus your insight modifier.
Yeah, which I don't know one. So yeah.
So 4 dice. Yeah, just 4 dice, of course, with the lovely Cthulhu face, meaning 2 damage in this scenario.
Cthulhu.
Okay, so
What are you doing?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
How much momentum is in the pool there, Jago?
That's 2.
Would you like to spend 2 to also hit the guy behind him?
Yes.
Oh,
With that,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
This is some Kurt
reach
level
around the
rolling
corner,
here.
Click the flintlock down and fire the shot. You watch you watch the round.
Bam.
Yeah, curl the bullet.
Shrapnel.
Watch it slam through the throat of the lead inquisitor, pop out the back, and impact straight into the face of the one behind, putting them both down with a single shot.
Nice.
The pistol is then spent, of course, leaving you just with a fancy-looking club.
And around
Club's club.
It's better than
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Still use it, Lord.
And
Well, like
behind,
that.
not having a
Club's deadly. Yeah.
Yeah.
and behind them, looking down as they both just drop to the floor, you can see another group of them making their way rapidly across the deck towards you. Maybe 6 or so, it's hard to tell. Just with the way that you've still got several engineers kind of charging around the deck, and you're fairly sure you see the woman who interrogated you at their back.
So what I'm going to need is there's 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need 3 more bullets.
That is optimism. I like it.
Or if you're really ambitious, 2 bullets.
2, but yeah, 2. Let's
You're
it can
finding
only
a
get better from there,
corridor.
right? Yeah.
Mm.
Drink it down to what?
Stack them up. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
that's me then. If I've run shot.
Yep. Which leads us back to them. It's at this point the doors and at the far end of the aft slide open, and you watch as 2 acolytes burst out, coming in one out of each, and make their way onto the deck. They quickly pass their eyes around, seeing first and foremost they see the woman, Jack, and Alister on the far end of the ship. As Alister just pulls off a shot that would make Olympians proud, turn their eyes to the side and see Subil, Cecily, and Jules much closer to them. Having their pistol and swords already drawn, they level their pistols on you as a group. Click and fire. I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, Subil. 3, 4, Jules. And can't write her off, unfortunately. And 5, 6, Cecily.
Could I argue that facing the crowd would make less likely to be targeted immediately?
Sorry, how many d6s am I rolling?
No, don't worry. I was rolling
Oh.
to see if one of you they shot.
I think the
Oh, I
skill you're
see.
looking
Okay.
for there, Billy, is face behind Jules's skirts as much as possible. Like,
That's the human shield.
yeah, all right, yeah.
I mean, Jules is a buff woman.
She's
It
badass.
is true. Unfortunately, they pick their targets, fire, and hit.
Aww.
Oh.
Maybe Jules in
Wait,
it.
didn't you say there were 2 acolytes and they shot 3 of us?
There are 2 acolytes. They're shooting at the 3 of you, but again, they're acting as a unit, so they're 1 combined total.
Or just somehow just shooting me, just for the laugh.
Hell of a trick shot with you in the hole.
I know, right?
Just pinging off everything.
A couple of shots fire, and as you're kind of on the stairs and the angle is quite awkward, I'm going to give you a couple of points of extra armor as cover. And more precisely, I'm going to give Cecily 2 extra points of armor.
Oh, yay.
How much armor do you have after that?
If I have extra armor. I have 2 armor. Wait, hang about. You gave me 2 plus 2.
So it's just you gain whatever your normal armor rating is, plus 2 from the cover.
Okay, I have 2.
You take 2 damage.
Okay, back down to 0.
Smack into the stairwell and the railing that kind of sits next to it. You watch as the wood at one point just pops and disintegrates under the round. Another flies overhead of each of you and separates Cecily from quite a bit of just a few strands of hair as it swings past her head. By a literal hair's breadth.
You can join the cool haircut club. That's great.
Hey, don't be messing around. What the hell? It's got to be somewhere at midnight.
She's got a date.
A nice outfit.
Yeah.
At which point brings us back then to Edlynnne in the decks of the ship.
Just trying to. I mean, I'm guessing I'm hearing all this commotion, so I'm just going to try.
Oh, it's hard to not hear the repeated gunshots coming from above.
Even when you've only got the one ear, it's all she hears. It's deafening. Get up there as quickly as I can to see if I can help in any way. So yeah, just leaving the overalls I found and just getting up there.
Make me a brawn athletics check, please. Again,
Do
just
good.
difficulty 1.
Do good. 2 passes. Yes, 2 passes.
Excellent. Generate momentum, please. You start charging forward.
One momentum.
Perfect. Rushing across the base of the engineering deck, up onto the stairwell at the back, and hitting that second level. You charge around, hit the stairs, hit a small ladder, and start clambering up there. As you reach the top portion, the upper walkway, this is where multiple engineers just start filtering down through that door, getting away as quickly as possible. You watch as the last of 5 that get down grab the hatch and slam it shut behind them.
Oh, come on, guys! Come on! Can you?
In fairly obvious abject panic.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, for fuck's sake! And hope that I can open.
They haven't locked it; they've just closed it.
I'm just gonna say, just open the hatch and then try to help these fuckers. Don't know why.
Ben did say earlier that the hatch only locked from the outside. They wouldn't be able to do it from inside anyhow.
But
exactly,
still, I
they're
mean,
literally just closing it behind them.
Still though.
You hit the end of your action as you reach that top floor, unfortunately.
I want to go on a fight.
At which point, the rest of the Inquisitors that are on deck start charging down, the last of the whistles going off, and at this point, the ship is in full alarm. Any Inquisitor who is on the vessel is being pulled towards your group. From Alister's perspective, as he's the one who's actively kind of looking down the vessel, you can see those 6 breaking into 2 groups to take each side, and the woman going on the far edge away from your line of sight.
Right, yeah.
Brings you once again to the top of the round. Who would like to go first?
How far away are we from the back of the ship and the boat now? Because we have travelled. Because we're about midship, so...
Yeah. You're a single action away, so you would be able to hit the edge of the ship and try and jump off by passing a brawn athletics check. However, you will be going directly past or through the melee of Kurt and Traeger.
See, everything... I don't have much brawn. I don't really have any athletics, but everything is just telling me just to jump off the side of the ship and try and swim to the back. And the fact that this is like an inland sea and there's no currents or anything.
Send it.
Yeet it.
Yeet it? Okay.
Yeet it.
Okay. Do we have any momentum?
We have 1.
1. Because I reckon this is going to be a brawn athletics check.
It'd be an agility athletics check, actually.
Oh, okay. That is worse than my brawn athletics.
Can it be up?
I mean,
For
no
a
athletics. I've
second-
only got 6 agility and I've only got 8 brawn.
For
I mean,
a
it's-
second, there was some hope in her voice.
That was a ray of hope.
I
I
just
mean,
have-
it's
Probably
very
crushed.
quickly dismounting a ship. How hard could it be?
Yeah.
It's more the fact when I'm in the water. I thought that was what the check would be for.
I'm not going to make you test for jumping off the ship. That's a relatively easy thing to
Yeah.
do. It'll be landing well enough to actually start swimming straight away
Mhm.
and swimming.
Yeah.
I mean, you can there's various ways. You can cannonball, you can pencil, you can belly flop. I mean,
Yeah, just
I
starfish
prefer
belly
the
flop.
belly. I prefer the belly flop
I feel
method.
like the roll will dictate how the land. I mean, I feel like
Pretty much.
this.
Yeah,
is
that's the thing. I
objectively
don't
not
trust
as
the
good
roll
as
because, like,
this.
there's momentum, but I'd ideally like someone to spend it like a bit more worthwhilely. And
then
if my agility athletics is just 6, then I don't think I'm going to get very far.
well,
with
you know,
that.
you've got a chance.
That really
What's it going to be?
Can I have a think on it and let someone else take their turn?
You certainly can.
Thank you.
I'll hold my action. I don't mind going right at the end again because I'm not in the melee and that makes me sad. So you guys can go before me.
Hmm.
Are there any lifeboats?
How far away am I?
There are.
I thought we were looking for the lifeboats.
No, Kurt's
No,
got a
Kurt's
boat.
got his own boat.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm going to continue sprinting towards where Kurt has told us where his boat, I'm going to continue going towards the boat.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. As I just said with Cecily, that will basically be up the stairs, past Kurt and Traeger,
Hmm.
and then just off the edge behind them. So it'll be a brawn athletics check of 1 with a complication range of 16.
So this
That's
is
to
a...
use his amazing skills to distract.
My brain isn't working tonight. I just went, I could do a Pirates of the Caribbean and find a rope. And then I remembered it's a steamboat. So there's no sails.
There's still probably a rope.
Does
somewhere.
Kurt-
There's always
does Kurt
ropes.
Not
still-
one dangling conveniently so I can
Is this going to be
around
another wheelbarrow scenario where you just have a rope?
I feel like you should spend
Use the
momentum.
void point to get rope.
just to make a little thing. Just to
I
have
feel
a
like
rope.
you should spend momentum to make a truth that there is rope netting hanging off the back of this ship that you can swing off. I
Sure.
think that's so incredibly cool. You should do it.
Is that?
A swingable rope.
But we don't have
It'd be
enough
a
momentum. We've
void
got
point to just create the truth. Otherwise, you need to do a skill check to look for it and then spend the momentum.
I do have a void point there. I have 2 left.
Are you really? Oh, he's gonna Pirates of the Caribbean this shit. I can feel it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay, so this is like a ferry or a barge of some kind.
It's a
So are
warship.
you looking for Kurt? Sorry, pardon?
Just clarification on what kind of ship we're on.
This
it
is
quite
a
big one,
this
or
is a
it-
warship.
It's a warship.
What you assume it was probably a troop carrier at some point.
Okay. I'm just trying to justify why there would be a large thing.
I mean, if you want, we can have Kurt literally just try to distract Traeger a little bit more because I think he still counts as a player
Well,
character.
that's
So-
fine. It's just getting past Kurt and Traeger, which is my current issue because if you go,
But you could always have it as Kurt kind of moves him away a bit further and distract him enough that the complication range could at least get a little bit lower than what it currently is or something
The
like
only
that.
thing causing the complication range is the fact that they are in the way, and Traeger will do what he can to stop you.
Yeah.
So you can use Kurt first to try and help with the melee.
Or I could use a void point to say that there's a large crane on the top of this large war vessel with a convenient piece of rope dangling, and I could grab and swing around it, or fail miserably, which, either way.
I mean, I will tell you that would basically involve a brawn athletics check to swing and hold on.
I mean,
we'd be laughing either way.
Arguably coordination, but it's up to you.
I mean, I've only got
One or the other. I need
no
to split in the next
athletics, so
30 seconds.
Okay, instead, what I'll say is that could I use a void point to say that instead of a large string of thing along the side of the ship, there's various like cargo netting that you could use to feasibly climb along the side and therefore climb past where they're fighting. And
yeah, that's absolutely fine.
For a few minutes.
That's absolutely fine.
Brilliant. I will do
Burn the
that.
void point for me.
Hey, burning now.
From your position with those shots swinging past, you glance over and you can see this long array of netting holding life buoys and that type of thing off the edge. You can see it kind of running along, and as you kind of glance over the ship properly, you can see just kind of bobbing at the far end with a young man you don't recognize. I say that, you do, very loosely. It's just a face in the crowd that you kind of recognize. Stood at the front, looking out, catches your eye and starts waving. And this small little car, this very small kind of riverboat, sat nestled in behind the warship.
Okay.
Brave buggers. I respect the shit out of that.
I'm gonna head straight for that. Also, at the same time, because you mentioned it, and therefore it's canon, I would like to grab a life buoy, from the side.
You just leap over, grab one of those, and start trying to clamber across. I'm going to need a brawn athletics check to make that work. Obviously, if you have climbing, it will be helpful. You are on the side of a ship that is moving to and fro, so I'm going to call this difficulty 2.
Okay, no worries. How much momentum are we on currently, Jago?
Only the 1.
I'm going to request to use that one, if that's all right. I'm getting wet.
Yeah,
Luckily,
okay.
I do have a life buoy, so if I do fall off, then the consequences are a little bit less bad, right? But,
Or can you hang on to the life buoy as you fall?
Well, that'll be the next check. If I let go of the life buoy, then
I mean, don't roll a complication and a failure, because you'll lose the life buoy in the process.
That is not a complication, but is one success.
You leap over, grab hold of the netting, and start trying to clamber along. It doesn't take long for the kind of the very wet nature of the ropes having been splashed on and hit by various fluids. You slip.
Yeah. Okay.
And just tumble backwards into the water. You drop a good 15 feet off the edge of the ship, smashing into not the waves, but of course the water itself.
Yeah.
And you take 4 points of stress.
Oh, okay.
As you crack into it and just feel your entire body snap up a little bit as you start to just drop into the depths. Thankfully, you wrap your arms around your life buoy and it stops you from dropping under and starting to kind of disappear underneath.
Mm-hmm. Holding on for dear life. Yeah.
As you do, you glance over and you see at that point the small riverboats start to move, going around the edge of the ship to try and get to you.
While it's turning, I'm just gonna kind of try and get their attention and just like wave towards the boat so they stay on the galley and pick the rest of them up. Because I'm floating with the thing, and I'll just try and paddle towards. I know they're speeding off, but
that's fine. You give them the indications as best you can. It then moves on to, unfortunately, Traeger. Lynn. No, sorry. We'll stick with Holly. Holly, can you make me a agility fighting check for Kurt, please? Still 14 is what he's looking for.
13 and a 16, so 1 pass.
He loses by 2.
Ooh.
I told you I wasn't able to replicate it again, but at least it was no complication. No complications that time. No. Yes. No.
You did your best. You did your best.
Yeah.
You're the one.
I did what I could.
Yeah.
In fairness, they're rolling better for Kurt than they are for me.
At least he's still on the boat.
But the idea is to get off the boat.
At least you're still on a boat.
This is not the boat he wants to be on.
Regardless,
This is not the boat you're looking for.
Kurt continues to try and duck and weave past Traeger's attacks, moving in to make quick swipes with his dagger and trying to push him away from all of you to give you a clearer run. He kind of tries to shout back to each of you. At one point, he launches in. Traeger steps back, keeping his arms wide as the barbs around him kind of hold up, ready to strike. He ducks under a couple of barbs that swing past his head and slams a knife directly into Traeger's gut. You watch the blade impact from your position, Cecily and Jules, as you see seconds before Subil just leap off the edge of the ship, clambering on to grab onto ropes, and moments pass as you hear him impact into the water below. Your eyes snap back to Traeger and Kurt. Kurt twists around as Traeger kind of takes the hit, shouts over to you, "Go, just jump!" As he says it, you watch 4 separate barbs of wire slam into him.
Oh!
As Traeger grabs his arm, snaps it, and just brings him directly in. He beats Kurt by 2, and then deals him 7 damage.
I was gonna say, can I void point? Can I void point this as Edlynnne's made it up and used Guardian to stop it?
Unfortunately, not.
That'd be such a cool, sick thing.
You see the bone in Kurt's arm snap and push out of it. His right arm just torn in 2, or nearly. He screams in pain as Traeger flings him to the floor, discarding him like nothing, steps over his body, and for his minor action, moves to the edge of the stairwell to block you. Kurt is still screaming, spitting insults. "Get back here, you pointy bastard!" And Traeger just completely ignores him as Cecily, you see with a step a very familiar scene as lines of the wire descend from his body and start trailing along the deck towards Kurt. You have horrible flashbacks to Killport and watching Arcs get choked to death by those same wires weeks before.
I think I'm ready for a rematch.
Is there a life buoy in my immediate vicinity, like attached to the wall or the railing or anything?
Just over the side of the deck, there's this really convenient cargo netting.
Okay, I am just going to try and bounce my, do a Subil, but perhaps a little bit more elegantly and with a bit more of a controlled descent into the water. But I'm getting out there. I'm taking Kurt's words, and not quite jumping, but getting into the water. That's motivated me some, despite my lack of brawn or athletics.
You move up to the edge, just kind of, and go for it. You said controlled descent into the water more than trying to clamber along the netting.
Yeah. I figure, getting into the water is probably the better.
Make me a coordination athletics check, please.
Okay, my coordination's not too bad, thankfully.
We're going to call this difficulty 1.
Good.
That's just going to be for you kind of landing. You'll still be taking the stress damage.
That's fine.
Currently, it will just be basically free, minus 1 for every success you get.
Okay. Be good to me, dice. I got 1 success.
You leap off and make as controlled a descent as you can, as you just flail your arms out, grabbing the life buoy as you swing past it and just smack into the water. Mere feet from Subil. You take 3 points of stress from the impact.
That's fine.
Thankfully, again, the life buoy helps keep you afloat. You pull yourself up out of the water, glance over to see Subil just kind of waving follow his line of sight, and you can see a small riverboat making its way towards you. Going back to them. Unless anyone would like to, if you have it, and would like to spend 2 momentum to hold the initiative, as the next group that will go is the 2 Inquisitors whose only target left is Jules.
We don't have any momentum.
You won't let me void point this shit, would you, either, to say that?
I would not allow you to void point it to say you have broken out and made your way here already, because you kind of have to, by necessity at this point, go through the Inquisition to reach this part of the ship.
Can I void point to say that out of sheer terror, I grabbed Jules and dragged her with me over the side of the boat? So we're both in the water now. And she's
I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, I'm void pointing it to say Jules is with me.
Okay,
we both
cool.
have petticoats, so, you know, floaty for a little bit.
Actually,
before they drag us down.
Not gonna tangent, as people know I can do, but actually, true story, somebody jumped off a pier saved by her petticoats.
There we go.
There you go, magic. In which case, they look for the targets they fought with there seconds before as they just disappear over the edge. Their shots completely pointless. They turn their attention instead to the other targets on the ship and start moving forwards. From their position, they see Jack charging across the ship, across the deck. Alister just to his back, looking very proud of himself with a smoking gun. And the woman with the burnt face kind of just next to Jack, still holding the coach gun. They pick their target, who is going to be Jack.
Well, I guess I tank is what I do.
The shots go wide, impacting into the deck and just past you. Continue just charging. But they at this point move up to try and intercept you. So if you want to still make it off in a single action, you're going to need to go through them or slow down to kind of loop around. But either way, back to you guys.
I'm going to clear you guys a path.
There is also, of course, a Traeger on the top of the stairs.
I mean, I am the
We haven't had the best luck with him before.
I am the perfect bait.
That's what you said last time.
And it worked. I was very good bait.
But
You still have the marks on your neck from the last time you met him.
Sam's just lost one parent. Do you really want him to lose 2?
Well, at the moment, Sam's been abandoned.
We'll be back.
Well, obviously, I don't know that because, you know...
We had a plan.
Dead.
We have a plan.
Speaking of, what is your plan right now? What is your decision?
Oh, God. It's never... There's no good ideas, are there? Because...
There's only fun ideas.
Okay, level 1. We'll level 1 and level 1 overtaking flesh just for a bit of staying in the fight power and and keep moving and only use my normal movement.
Okay, please cast your spell.
Okay, it's difficulty 3. What am I trying to be? What's my I've just been at again. I know I did this last week, but didn't really. But what was it? Is it will?
Yes.
Okay. Was it will what? Will resilience?
Will resilience.
Okay. Well, I'm good at that.
It's difficulty 3.
Tried really hard, but that is 2 successes. Sorry, 3 successes. There's a crit and a 16. Tried really fucking hard, but it did it.
So, sorry, how many was that? Sorry?
That's 3 successes.
3 successes.
Crit. One's a crit.
Cool. You continue charging forward, bringing the energy into yourself, and with every single step, you just feel the stone starting to push its way out from the ports on your back and just overtake your flesh. The small
6 armor.
vines following around as well. Please roll your cost as well, please. So the damage for that one.
Yes, that's 2 dice.
2 with drain, yeah.
My courage is the armor for this, isn't it?
Correct.
Then no damage.
Any effects?
There was 1 effect.
In which case, that's going to be 1 point of fatigue regardless.
But yeah, I mean, that was going to be fatigue anyway.
Yeah. You, as I say, you pull the spell around you and just take a few steps. You're not moving any great distance, but at this point, you have kind of pulled the spell through its entirety. The Inquisitors do not seem even remotely perturbed by it.
That's fine. I can stay in the fight longer than the rest of them.
At the end of that, as you kind of step into the center deck, putting yourself between the 2 in front of you and the woman and Alister behind you, from the other side, 3 Inquisitors charge around the corner, rifles in hand, and do a quick check across. Traeger shouts, points down, "Take out the channeler!" And the 3 rifles twist in place, aim at you, and fire. It's only going to be difficulty 1 shot for them as you're in perfect range.
That's fine.
They hit you.
Yep.
2 chaos out of that.
How did it hit 2 chaos, you motherfucker? Shut up. No. Don't use that shit.
That's exactly how it works.
Nah.
6 armor, you say?
Yes.
These don't have piercing, you'll be happy to know.
Oh, well, that's fucking astonishing, because everything we've been running into with piercing.
Not this round.
Mm.
You take 3 damage in total.
That could have been a lot worse.
Several shots impact into you. You feel them ping off the worst of the stone. Several large chunks of it just breaking and flying off into the air. Immediately, you start reforcing more in place. Glancing down to see this mass of vines working underneath the stone, starting to pull things back into place. Another hits you in the chest and just stops dead. One flies just under your arm. And just behind them, stepping out, you can see Juliana at their back, a tri-barreled pistol leveled over their shoulders as they try to kind of get an idea of what exactly is going on. Back to you guys. Or more precisely, Alister on the deck.
Me, isn't it? So in terms of positioning here.
Yep.
If the boat is like that.
Yep.
And we've got like friends in water, the tugboat coming around to pick them up.
Yep.
Like, where is it to this side, or so 1 or 2 is where Traeger is. So what? Now, can you see better with 1 or 2?
Yeah.
1 or 2. I'm just giving Ben flashbacks here, by the way.
No, I've left that life behind. That's wholly Lynn's problem these days.
1 or 2, Ben. 1 or 2. It's coming for you. So I might basically
use your hand. Pretend this is yours. So on the tugboat is here. I'm going to do it there.
Yeah.
Tugboat here. Traeger is there.
Tugboat here. Traeger there. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And where am I in that situation?
You would be going. You went the other way, following Jack. You're here.
I'm there. Right. Okay.
On the right.
Where's Jack?
There-ish. So you're here. He's there.
Apart from the fact that I am once again the cave.
The cave.
I am the cave.
If you were to go by what you have a direct beeline to, it's Traeger. You also are very aware of the 3 inquisitorial acolytes charging up the runway behind you with rifles.
I've got to save Jack. That's my modus operandi. I've got to save Jack somehow.
I got a thing. I got a lot of armor. I can tank a few more shots.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by inquisitorial peeps and Traeger as well. Like,
To be
Yeah,
honest, it
how's
doesn't
the
matter
chance?
which.
is Traeger by the baluster? Like, if there's the edge of the ship, is he standing by the edge of the ship?
He's fairly close to the edge of the ship, yeah.
Oof.
Are
Remember
you
how this
planning
went in the
to-
bar?
Are you continuing
Remember how
with
this
your
went in the
plan
bar?
from session 1 here?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, remember how this went in the bar?
The bar was a while ago. Charge! I'm gonna try and bull rush him. He's covered in metal. If he goes into the drink, he's
You
going
will
into
sink.
the drink.
That's where we are, though.
Yeah, but you're a bit further up,
Okay.
and also he's covered in metal. He's gonna sink like a stone. So
I am a stone.
Don't go in the
only
drink.
some of the time. I won't hold that against you.
You charge.
That's stonist.
I think the best way of doing this is an opposed brawn athletics check between you and Traeger.
Bring it. This could not possibly go badly for me.
No.
You duck down, roar, and go. You
I'm
hit the
just gonna
bottom of the
take
stairs
you
as you're
now.
charging up towards him. And Traeger, the same way with Kurt, spreads his arms out ready to meet you.
Oh,
Go for it.
Surprise him and just embrace him in a hug. He wouldn't be expecting it.
That's the aim. Is hug and
And just keep going.
All he needs is a good hug.
Yeah, he's just never felt love before.
Just never felt love before.
what have you got then?
All he needs is love.
3.
What?
3.
What?
You got 3. 3 is good. I grant you 3 is good. Doesn't quite beat my 4. but
Hey!
it's,
Oh.
You have redeemed yourself, sir, since the bar.
You snap your arms around Traeger's waist, feel him reach down to grab you in a very similar manner to back at the bar, and you just keep going. You feel him crack into the side of the ship. The banister give way, and the two of you tumble over the edge into the water.
cool.
Descending down, he'll take the stress damage for both of you,
Fine.
which we're going to up a little bit. We're going to
I'm
push
landing on
5.
top of him, to be fair, but yeah, I go, yeah, I'm there for it. Do you want me to
Good
roll?
age.
My rolls have been really bad tonight. I'm happy to roll if you want me to.
I mean, if you feel you can do better than 5 damage.
Nah, stick with the 5, stick with the 5. That's a solid 5 damage on it.
How many dice did you roll?
5.
I'm not going to take this roll. I just want to see what happens.
Go for it.
All right, I'm going with your 5. I just want to see.
But
what
if it's
happens.
better, if it's better, you have to take it.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no.
That's only 4. That's not as good.
Ah,
Fuck you, Ben. We get advantage. I'll take anything at this point. 1 extra damage is 1 extra damage.
Please
I
tell
mean,
me
you're
you
not
just sinks and drowns. That would be so nice.
That would be so helpful.
How about is his go next?
well, technically it's Edlynnne, then it's him.
Oh, cool. Well,
Yeah.
That's Okay, cool.
He dropped in,
that was a move.
slamming into the water as the two of you just plummet within. You feel him start to just, exactly as you say, weighed down by the huge amount of barbed wire on his person, start to sink. You go to let go, but of course, as he's grappling you at the same time, the two of you just start thrashing around in the water from one another. You hear, or more precisely see, several strands of the wire flying out from him and trying just to reach up towards the ship as the two of you just start to descend. Edlynnne.
I want to void point my way out of this. I want to void point my way literally out of the thing so I can actually do something on the deck and not just sit here for like 5 rounds and be like, I fight a great.
It's just an action to get yourself out. You don't need to spend the void point. You just going through the engineers and up out of the
but it's still an action that I could use to then help them instead of just, you know.
I mean, you can spend a void point to essentially get 2 turns in a row by gaining yourself an additional major action.
Can I spend that now and say I'm doing that?
Yeah,
Or do
I mean, you
have to
still
wait?
need to pass me a brawn athletics check of 1 to actually get out of the engineering bay anyway.
I swear down, Edlynnne, if this is where you fuck up, I am going to actually rip up your character sheet and just say you never, just say I kill you off myself. Fuck's sake, Edlynnne. I mean, it's a pass, but it's also a nat 20, so she complicatedly passes her way through.
I'm just going to take 2 chaos for that, basically.
Cool.
Because the other answer I could give you is you are stopped by the engineers, and I feel that would just pull a scream from your lungs of utter annoyance.
If it wasn't for the fact everyone else in my house is sleeping, then yes.
You barge your way through the crowd of engineers who take one look at you and recoil in horror.
Take that.
God damn.
You barge past them, hit the stairs, and charge up, slamming the gate open as you do. In fact, you get to the point where you raise your hand up towards the mesh of the gate, and it moves before you've even touched it, pushing away from you as your arm just kind of catches up and slams it to the side. You step out into the cool open air of the world beyond, and you can hear again whistles and shouts, the sound of something heavy impacting the water a good distance from you. And just on either side, you kind of glance back. More precisely, you look forward, and you can see kind of that large central section with the fucking forgotten it again. Smokestacks. Thank you. And on your right and left, you can see small galleyways leading down where you can hear those gunshots going off. Twisting just behind you, you can see about 5 inquisitorial acolytes making their way across the deck, heading for that point, and just kind of catching you in their gaze as you step out, and just momentarily kind of halting, glancing down, and preparing to do something, but it is still your action, and you spend your void point to gain another action on top of that.
I did. So I'm just gonna, obviously, hearing combat, Edlynnne is very happy because let's face it, she loves herself some combat. She's just gonna see. I just want to she's just gonna see these guys close the mesh gate. Probably not if she can lock it, then try to lock it, and then just run to see if she can. Run to any of the closest gunshots so she can at least get there for the next action.
Yeah. You can hear gunshots coming from both ways. They are, at this point in time, an equal distance from you. So it's really trying to go left or right.
Left, as I'm a lefty, and I'm very, very... I like my lefts.
Okay. You pick yourself up, slamming the mesh behind you. There is a lock, but you'd have to turn and stop. And
No.
So you don't bother.
Just close it and You
just charge off. Twist around, a couple of shots go off in the behind you and just fly past you for more dramatic effect than anything else. Run around the corner, look down the galleyway, and at the end of it, you can see 3 acolytes stood, dropped in place with rifles, and at their back, Juliana.
Yes, I'm at the position I want to be at. Fuck yeah.
Damn Juliana in the back.
I've got a fucking plan because they're not going to expect to see me because I think I'm dead.
None suspects the Iron Inquisition.
No one expects the dead girl.
Which point brings us actually to Juliana's action.
If you pull some full captivation to see me, I mean, I'm there for it. I want it Edlynnne and Juliana fight, but
I'm going to get...
We'll scream.
I will ask her, I am going to get her to make an insight observation check to notice you.
That's fine. I'm here for a Juliana and Edlynnne fight, man, so I'm here for either way.
It's going to be difficulty 2. Yeah, fuck that, apparently. She passes.
Oh,
Fine.
God.
I'm getting ready.
She rolls 2 crits.
That's fine. As long as there's some sort of audible shock when she sees me alive. Because, I was dead.
She kind of, hearing someone charging down, she glances over. You kind of get the impression she's expecting to see more of her own men. Glances, does a double take.
Can I just wave at her? Just hello.
Hey.
Just stop and wave as she sees this horrendous mass of what was once a woman. And is now this half metallic thing.
Honestly, yeah, just
with the
smile
amount
and
of
wave
passes
voice.
she got, she recognize the amount of passes she got. She does recognize enough of your features to know who you are.
That's fine. I'm still smiling and waving because, you know, it still took a bit by surprise because double take.
She glances back at you, twists back to her men, shouts forward, urges them around the corner, and follows after, leaving your line of sight and clearing a direct route.
Chase after again, really. It's kind of a reaction or whatever.
You just bolt down, kind of reaching the edge of the water, at the edge of the galleyway.
Get 20 shots and die.
As you reach it and go to round the corner, fists raised, waiting for a fight, she slams into you.
That's funny.
Pushes you up to the edge of the ship, literally, so you're on the galleyway.
Mhm.
She's not overly strong, but there's enough momentum in her action to force you to go. And she's just holding you in place, pistol at your face, as large ornate tri-barreled gun. She leans forward and just whispers something in your ear. So I'm going to send you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly,
where'd it go?
she's just like, I'm going to kill you now.
Have you invested in personal payment protection insurance?
We've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Damn it, how did Jago guess exactly what she said to me?
Have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior the Martyr.
The second she said Lord and Savior the Martyr, I'm like, no. I like dragons, and then just, yeah, you know.
No.
At which point, she, after whispering, she fires the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you are sent sprawling over the edge.
I died again, guys. Sorry.
Wow. I mean,
If at first you don't succeed, you know.
Well,
Die
hey,
again.
again, I didn't know that you survived, so really, you never.
If anything-
To be fair,
that-
you guys just don't know I'm alive. I just
No,
read
any of
I
us
just-
true, you don't.
Yeah.
I feel like Jack
That's
would have
really-
seen you though, right?
Jack
Does
would
it-
have noticed you.
Yeah.
What?
Will
That's
Eddie
just going to be
sink if she's
confusing for
metal?
him.
She may.
But then again, if she can, like,
No,
control
again,
metal.
literally, I mean, again, seeing
In
it.
fairness, it's only, apart from her head, it's only ever been a very, very thin layer.
Okay.
Literally as much iron as you have layers of skin, essentially. It is as thick as a layer of skin, so almost non-existent.
Okay.
Just immediately noticeable against flesh.
Oh no, I was just thinking with the fact that like metal moves away from her. If she did sink, she could probably just like propel Traeger down to push herself up and.
But she's
But
on the
again,
other
yeah.
end. She's unfortunately on the opposite end of the ship.
Does that mean I'm also on the opposite end of the? Not that I'm going to know the boat's there, but does that also mean I'm on the opposite end of the
Yeah,
boat?
you're on the wrong side of the ship, basically.
God.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm in the water, so that's at least something.
As in port or starboard or aft and.
Port and starboard.
Oh God.
To someone who doesn't know boat terms, can you just
Left
explain?
and right.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong
What is
side of the
left if you're
ship.
looking to the front
Okay,
of the
cool.
boat?
Like, you have to remember, I'm Northern. I don't do fancy
James, you're
words.
muted.
Easiest way of remembering it, starboard, because it sound out. Starboard is the right. Lots of R's in starboard.
So port and left both have four letters.
I always knew it as no port left, as in the phrase "there is no port left."
Many ways.
Regardless,
Sailors
you're
were
on the
always
wrong
forgetting.
side of the ship.
Starboard's the right side.
To cut a long story short,
You done fucked up.
But you collapse. You feel just off the side of the kind of new metal portion of your head,
Mhm.
where the bullet has just slid across it.
Damn, she's such a terrible shot, close range, isn't she? Honestly, man, sounds like I get some like lessons.
Well, normally you expect to shoot someone in the face. They probably don't have armor sheet plating there, apart from maybe a helmet.
Well, I mean, as far as she's aware, I was shot in the face. Like,
Yeah.
well, like 10. Like, I don't know how long it's been since the accident.
a
With
few
the last
minutes
gun.
ago.
Either way, it then brings us back to the top of the round.
Am I the only one who's still on the boat?
Yep.
All of this.
Yeah,
I-
technically. Yeah.
I guess I'll go to the edge and jump. Can I try and follow Alister's lead with this?
You can.
Yeah, jump off the same point.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for more Traeger.
I'm gonna land with a rock monster on my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, did you
Stop between
expect
a
to
rock
come
and a
out
hard
of this
place.
alive?
But they make a kebab.
Not
like
really,
a
to be
rock
honest.
Sandwich with Alister.
You run up to the
No,
edge.
no, I'm not. No, it's different. I mean, it's getting late enough for that kind of late night action, but I'm
It's
not.
Chalice, you know.
Chalice
everything.
after dark.
Hey. This motherfucker
Yes,
is
we've-
drowning.
We've got Ben to do one of these. It's been a good session.
I'm
don't
expecting to
have a
see
second
barbed
about-
wire. I'm
You
expecting to
rush
see
up to
barbed
the edge
wire.
of the ship. You rush up to the edge of the ship, and you feel the woman moving past you, also doing much the same thing, just taking to the side and leaping off. A couple of shots loosed from the coach gun as she runs. You glance over the edge. I'm considering it's the dead of night. There's a lot of gunshots going on, and your vision is impaired due to
Yeah.
the stone.
Yeah.
I'm going to need an insight observation check of. I'm going to say 3 to actually know where in the water Traeger and Alister are.
Insight observation. Okay, well, there's one momentum, but I feel like there's more important things that will probably come up. Oh. One.
You glance down. You think
That
you
is
see where they are.
water.
You think you see where they are, and you go with it. I'm gonna bluntly rule that there is no check on Earth that is gonna allow you to land in the water gracefully, considering fucking rock monster.
Cannonball.
You do take 4 points of stress, but they ping off your armor. As you impact into the water in this almighty splash. And due to the fact that you have doubled your mass, immediately begin to sink.
Release
That's an
spell.
action.
Well, that'll be my next turn.
You start to just drop and just moving around in the water, unable to kind of reconcert yourself or direct yourself at all. You pass your eyes around, and just in the murky depths, you can see 2 figures tumbling maybe 15, 20 feet away from you. As you see, just reflected off of the moonlight, numerous strands of barbed wire just flashing up out of the water.
Fuck.
Alister,
Yes.
Traeger is making an attack against you. Weirdly.
I don't know why you do that.
Yeah. Can I get you to make me a agility fighting check, please?
My dice have been great all night. Agility fighting. 17. So that's an 8, and that's a 20, which is 1 success and 1 very, very not success.
Yep. That's a thing. You lose by how many success? Sorry, how many did you get?
I got 1 success and 1 failure with a complication.
You lose by 4.
Okay.
That's gotta suck.
And we're gonna turn this complication to your aid in a moment.
What?
I know, right? What armor do you have?
How much?
Armor.
Oh, I don't got armor.
You tried.
That's not a good face.
Very. You know what I don't like about that is the fact that you went.
I'm sure I heard him whisper 8 right at the beginning. So.
Carrying the 10. As 8 points of damage.
4, 5, 6, 7. 8. I've got 1 stress left.
Is she not dead?
You also take an injury because it's higher than 5.
Oh no, then I am dead.
Is that all 3?
That's all 3. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
At which point,
The way to go. I'm here for it. It's a way to go, you know? I'm there for it.
What's Alister?
from your
like,
position,
all
Jack,
cells? You know.
you watch as the two figures fight one another through the water, just slamming into one another with fists and wire. And even at one point, you see Alister just lunging forward, mouth full of water, bubbles erupting from it, as he just slams his mouth around Traeger's esophagus. The two of them continue to just sprawl and fight until you see them just stop in space for a moment as the wires that are protruding out from Traeger kind of snap taut, and he starts to be drawn up. The two of them pulling themselves up out of the water. A few of those wires then detach. You watch Traeger wrap his arms around Alister and tense as a burst of wires spring from his chest. There is a sudden gout of red as Alice's chest is just shredded open. And blood rips into the water around him. The complication. Alister. The pain and the adrenaline pulsing through your body reawakens those last kind of remnants of black blood in your system. You feel your fingernails kind of lengthening, your fingers cracking under the weight of some change trying to force itself through your being. You even feel your canines starting to elongate in your mouth. As all sight starts to fade, you just feel everything starts to go blurry around the edges of your vision, even considering the fact you're thrashing through water. You land a couple of good strikes on Traeger, drawing blood and feeling it push through the water, scenting it. And you savage into him. You become a whirling mass of claw and tooth. I'm going to ask you to make an unarmed attack. Mm-hmm. Assuming that you have a brawn value of 12 at this moment in time.
Okay.
Which will give you 3 additional dice with piercing and vicious.
Just damage dice straight up into him.
Yeah, so it'll be 5 bare minimum.
Okay. So I know we're over and I'm taking more time, but I'm getting out the blue dice because I'm not touching these black dice because I'm going to show you what they are in a second. So it's actually going to be 6 dice for him overall. Okay. I want you to have a quick look at that for me.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh my
What the
lord,
fuck is this? Look at this. What is this?
that's beautiful.
No.
Oh my lord.
You tear rips and chunks. You rip and tear until it is done. You feel handfuls of meat torn from Traeger's body as the two of you spend the last thrashing moments of your violent, brutal life ripping one another to shreds within that water. Those outside, at this point, the small riverboat runs along the edge of the ship, fishing out Subil, Cecily, and Jules. Kurt, at this point, having crawled across to the edge of the ship and falling off the edge into the water, landing worryingly close to Edlynnne, who has managed to right herself within the water and start to swim around.
Reunion everyone wanted.
And slowly but surely, the majority of you are loaded onto the ship, where you see both Eli and Maximilian grabbing you and pulling you on. As Cecily, you are dragged on board, there is a bark. And you glance over to see Bismarck, wrapped in a bandage across the center of his body. Not quite having the strength to run over to you, but making himself very, very aware. Moments later, breaking free from the water as you see these wires of barbed wire running out of the water, snapping up into the boat, trying to wrap onto things, and then you just see them getting torn free as if something under the water is grabbing them and pulling them back. You see Jack burst free from the water. Look of waterlogged hate across his features as you paddle quickly across to the ship. You hear shouts and whistles still coming from the top of the vessel, and as you hear the calls for cannons to be loaded, there is a single voice that rings across. It just kind of orders going back and forth across the vessel. The entirety of the warship starts to turn to bring you in line with the cannons as Eli starts gunning your little ship away as quickly as physically possible. Glancing back off of the rear of the ship, as you all see Edlynnne stood perfectly alive, half of her face or skull now being replaced with large portions of metal. Her iris is lined with silver, even as much as saying the veins that you can see kind of playing around the whites of her eyes have darkened to the point where they are perfectly visible. You then turn back. Or more precisely, Edlynnne, you see something and just gesture over to it, back to the ship, where you see a single wire spit out, wrap around the top of the one of the barristers, and slowly but surely you see Traeger pulling himself up out of the water, blood gushing from his face, running down his arm where you can see cuts and tears and huge amounts of blood just running across his form. Both hands follow these wires up, pulls himself up onto the top of the deck, and dragged up from the water behind him, a barbed wire wrapped around his throat. You see the limp, hanging carcass of Alister. Who in his dying actions delayed Traeger long enough to stop the orders going out to open fire with the cannons. As you move, your small ship easily outpacing the bulk of the warship, skipping across the water, heading back to Southhurt, out of range of the cannon fire, dousing your torches and disappearing from sight. And that is where we will end the session. unfortunately, that does spell the end of Alister, who died stopping all of you from simply being gunned down in the water before you had a chance to escape.
It's a good way to go out, I think. That's a good way to, if you're gonna have to, yeah.
Redemption.
Well, hopefully.
You also, for the note, James, reduced Traeger to 1 injury.
I was there thinking, I feel bad about this, but I'm going to take away one of Ben's toys. Let's do it.
He is not going to recover from that in any good way.
Good. I feel like he's been a thorn in the party side for long enough. So, good.
Very nice.
I'm not laughing because it's a situation, but that was good.
We're gonna die.
That is that Chalice for this week. So, once again, I've been Ben, doing horrible, awful things to my party, somewhat worse than normal tonight, unfortunately. And I feel it's one last run through to see who everyone is, see where you can find us, and I'm going to speak for everyone when I would normally go to I need a vote for the hero of the hour and automatically give that to James. Unfortunately, of course, the XP is
lost.
Yeah, the XP is lost. But I will give the entire party a void point each.
Oh, thank you.
I have not had a void point in fucking week.
87 years.
It's a good parting gift. It's a good parting
Just do the
gift.
recap. It's easy.
Yeah.
The recap is not easy because I don't take notes. Because I'm a terrible person. Also dyslexic, but terrible person.
So, thank you very much to our wonderful players as always. Billy, where can we find you? Where are you? Who are you?
Hello, I'm Billy. I am here. You find me here. Nowhere else. I never have. All my other time is spent recovering and just, planning how I'm gonna die next week within this game. So just come back and see me traumatized even more then.
Holly?
Hi, I'm Holly. I started the session dead. Now I'm actually, I think, very gutted now that we've lost Alister. I do music. I'm actually finished a song that will be posted at some point. I'm doing some stuff with that. Actually have something to show for my almost degree. Yeah. What the fuck, Ben?
Second that.
Lynn?
Hi, I'm Lynn. I play Cecily. I'm also an artist. I do stream art. You can find me here Wednesday evenings. I've just put my name in chat. I am still processing Alistair's death, so very incoherent and sad now. Yeah. That's my spiel. That's my spiel for this week.
Jago?
Hi, I'm Jago, and I have but one thing to say. A soul for a soul. To quote
Fair.
Marvel.
And for, sadly, possibly the last time, James.
Hi, I'm James. I used to play Alister until he got triggered to the face. If he had to go out, I'm glad that he went out doing something fun for the party. You can find me on all sorts of other things as well, including at Follow Black Cats, which is Black Cats Gaming, part of the company that I run. I'm currently in the midst of writing Pirate Cthulhu-ness when I'm not bothering Ben and Danny in my day job at Modiphius. So yeah, that was pretty epic, Ben, I've got to say. That was pretty good, mate. Nice.
Never ends well with a player death, unfortunately, but I will say, if nothing else, it has been, as it will continue to be, I'm sure, in the future at other things, an absolute pleasure playing with James. I'm sure I speak for the party.
Oh, it's been awesome.
No, it's been really good playing with you, James.
Where will we get all the Rick Astley references now?
Yeah, come
Danny,
on, man.
I'm passing the torch to Danny. He's going to sort it all.
Yeah.
He's got it. He's got it.
It's gonna be so weird without you, dude. Shit, dude. I actually might start crying.
At the very least, we can say that truly, Alister did not let you down.
Didn't.
I mean, if it helps you, you've redeemed him in Edlynnne's heart, so.
Oh, look, he didn't run around and desert anyone. Mate.
He did make us
Utterly
cry,
worth
though.
it just to see
And
Danny.
I can tell you, a horrible bit of meta knowledge. In his interrogation, he also did not give you up.
And he's never let us down
Never
either.
gonna.
No.
Yeah, never gonna.
So thank you once again to our sponsors. Thank you to the Initiative Order and to Danny for keeping the stream running, despite problems sometimes, and putting up with us. And thank you all very much. And we will not see you next week. We will see you the week following. I say that confusing Danny because this is the first he's heard of it. Thank you very much and good night.